the eye test. I am your host, Mark Coles, and I am with my valiant co-host, Shawn. How you doing today, Shawn?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm trying to figure out how you doing. You look like you're doing better than me right now.
I'm feeling pretty good, sir. You know what I mean? You caught me in my study. I was reading, catching up on some light reading.
The study, huh? That's what you. So when did you acquire this study? Has this always been in your house, or is this just a new thing? What is it? What's going on here, man?
Well, I did some rearranging, some moving here, and so I created a personal space, a recording / media relaxing space for myself. I don't want to call it something as uncivilized as a man cave, but it is a man's dwelling, if you will. Uh, Earlier, you might have saw a little quick snippet or heard a little quick snippet of me and Shawn's last episode that we did not put out. But it was a little funny tidbit, just so decided to add it anyway. But now we're going to get into it. How you doing today, Shawn?
And I'm doing all right, man. Just finished eating a ribeye steak dinner, so you know what I'm saying? That'll really do it,
Excellent. Ribeye steak dinner. You're trying to make people jealous out there. That's cool. That's good.
Hey, man, look, get it how you live.
Yeah, man. Well, it seems like you're living fabulously over there. And
Wait, are you sure it's me? I'm looking at your screen once again. And once again, you're sitting there looking like you're living in a lap of luxury. Okay, so I don't know, man. A ribeye steak. I mean, you got artifacts in the background. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. You want to talk to me about ribeye steaks? You know what I'm saying? You got timeless. You know what? Whatever's sitting back there is probably worth $5 more than it was 10 minutes ago.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Smoking
a pipe. He's smoking a corn
you see it, right?
pipe.
Come on, man. I don't talk to me. Talk to me about the living good. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
why don't you show me what you doing, brother?
Well, listen, man. I'm proud of my living standards. I'll say that. I'll give you that much.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my living standards. And honestly, man, I just enjoy talking to you guys. So I decided that I want to be in a space where I can be happy while I talk to my friends,
Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm glad that you're happy and comfortable over there,
That's very, very comfortable. Very, very.
Yeah,
so,
I see.
But anyway, moving on, we are talking to the CEO of Small World Artistry. How you doing, sir? Tyrone Small.
Doing pretty good, brother. I'm doing pretty good.
For everyone out there, Tyrone not only is a fighter, but he's also an artist. And he's also a CEO and businessman. He created himself a business, Small World Artistry, which they do prints, T-shirts, logos, all things of that nature. He, in fact, did this shirt that I am wearing right now for you guys. So just to let you guys take a little look at that there. It says African American, and it's in the African American colors, or in the African colors with the American flag. Pretty sick shirt. I'm loving it. And it says established.
Dope.
It says established in 1865. And I gotta let you guys know it breathes easy and it's comfortable. So if you're looking forward to getting this shirt, we'll have a link for you in the description of the episode. So anyway,
it does look good. I ain't gonna lie. It matches your artifacts and your corncob pipe.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, the way that Shawn put it, my African banjo here is actually an African artifact. So
there you go.
You see? People think I'm just over here, blowing smoke, trying to exaggerate for the people out there. No, he literally has an artifact in the background. This is ridiculous, man. We didn't even talk about the half of a face that looks like it. look, man, I'm not going to assume that you have real ivory statues in your house. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. But that thing looks like it's made of ivory. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. Nah, man, that's porcelain. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. The real one's in the vault. Okay, got you.
Y'all relax. Y'all relax. Don't want nobody showing up to my house looking for nothing. This ain't ivory. Y'all can chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just like severity. We good. So anyway, man. So for those that aren't unaware, Tyrone, known him for a very long time. Tyrone is a established fighter. He's been fighting since what, 12?
Yeah. Started dabbling in it at 12, picked it up around 16, started getting serious about it after that.
Yeah, Taekwondo is his original discipline. He went into jiu-jitsu, and he's selling himself a little short here. He was actually fighting on the world circuit for a little bit as a young man. How far did you get as a young man?
U.S. Open. I won the city championship, state championship, and got disqualified right there at the U.S. Open qualification. So didn't make it. You got to wait. You got to wait some years before you can go back and qualify again. So that's when I decided I got to do that. I can't sit around mom's house. I gotta do something. That's when I went in the military.
Right, and that's where he was lucky enough to meet me. So hey,
right.
but now,
okay. All right, let's keep going. Yeah.
But yeah, Tyrone got disqualified for biting someone's face. I don't know. Just making that up.
Nah.
I was like, what? The person I know was pretty calm. You know what I'm saying?
In Taekwondo, it's really easy to get disqualified, believe it or not. Like it's depending on the style you're fighting. IDF or the World Federation Taekwondo, low kicks are not allowed. And what ended up happening is I ended up hitting him with an open palm strike. So it was real relaxed. It wasn't nothing aggressive. I wasn't angry. It's just that I didn't have a closed fist, and it was a little bit more force than they like. So caused me to draw some blood, and he got the win on that one.
So you got disqualified for slapping the shit out of somebody, is what I heard.
Essentially,
Mark, I'm trying to break it down for me, Mark. I'm trying to understand if that's what you heard, because that's what I heard. I heard he slapped the shit out of somebody and he got disqualified.
Yeah,
he said with a little bit more force than that they would like. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Draw blood. Yeah, I guess that would be a little bit more force. But you know what? I'm not gonna do you like that, brother. You know what I'm saying? We live in the same city. I gotta protect myself.
Shawn, the word on the street is ever since that day he was called Black Power. I don't know.
Yo, hey, look, man. I don't know what they call them. All I know is if you draw blood with open hand slaps, look, man, they disqualifying you, and you should sum it up as, they didn't like the amount of force I used. That lets me know that I'm dealing with somebody that has a calm rage. Okay, you know what? I'm good. I'm good on that. Okay.
Yeah, and to finish up some of the things that Tyrone is into, he's also he has also dabbled in kickboxing and established jiu-jitsu practitioner. So that lets you know a little bit of Tyrone. But if you would like to know more, revisit our episode "Roy Jones Must Have Forgot," where we first introduced Tyrone. So let's get into it, man. UFC 253. How did you guys enjoy it?
It was bittersweet, man. It was bittersweet. For me, it was bittersweet.
I'll say this. The fights, I don't think there were any terrible fights, is what I will say. Compared to some of the other UFC cards that I've watched, this is better than some of the other ones I've watched. But I mean, to me, it was kind of a lackluster ending to the entire card, so that kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah,
that's a great way to explain it right there. Like the build up was raw, and then when it ended, it was just like a fizzle at the end. Nothing really to be amped about like other fights you've seen. So.
Yeah, it always sucks when the main card is the disappointing card.
Yeah.
And that's quite unfortunate, but it's not. It wasn't disappointing because of the champion. So at least that wasn't the issue. But yeah. So getting into it, I'll start with you, Shawn, today. Was there any fights that particularly stood out to you that you enjoyed in UFC 253?
Man, I'm trying to remember the weight class. It was the males fight in the lower weight class. There were 2 fights before the main event, if I'm not mistaken. Was it okay? Well, either way, I'm not even remembering the names because I'll be honest with you. I literally was not trying to watch none of the preliminary fights because I didn't have any stake in it. I didn't really follow too many people other than obviously I wanted to see the Reyes fight. But other than that, I really wasn't interested. So, but there was that, like I said, if there was that one fight, if you guys could help me out, where it kind of ended. It ended in a very, very exciting fashion. Both of the fighters were going at it back and forth for the entire match.
You talking about the flyweight?
You talking about
so the smaller guys.
Kai France and Brandon Royal. When he did the spinning back elbow after he got wobbled.
Yes.
He got hit, dropped, and then he did the spinning elbow. Yeah, that was crazy, son. That was a good fight.
That fight was amazing. That fight was amazing, man. Like that fight was amazing. It was just a dog fight. And like you said, I mean, we're watching guys get knocked down to the point where you're like, oh man, he's in trouble. Then he gets up and hits with a spinning back elbow. Like that's like it was such an unpredictable kind of exciting fight to where you had 2 guys that were not backing down from each other that were just going toe to toe. And it was a complete opposite of the main event, man. It was a complete opposite of what I saw with the main event. But either way, that was probably the best fight. Like I said, I told Mark before I was kind of in and out, popping in and out, watching little bits and pieces of all the different fights. So I wasn't really catching the names of the fighters and what was going on. But like I said, that was the best fight by far. I'm pretty sure you guys would agree.
Yeah. Well, it was one of them because there was some undercards that were really, really good because I watched it all the way through. But first, I'm going to let Tyrone speak and talk about what fights did you find interesting or really enjoy?
So, same with Shawn, man. Like I really enjoyed the Kai France fight. I watched the Brandon Royal fight. He fought in his first appearance, and he ended up gassing a guy out. I mean, his pressure is not necessarily he's an amazing fighter. He is a good fighter, but his tempo, his punch count. He's mean, he's punching, he's kicking, he's shooting, he's good on the ground, and all this is happening it seemed like all at the same time. He's a swarmer. He's not a brawler. He's a swarmer. Like he did run into that punch. His coach told him, don't run into the right hand. But even still, he had enough mental composure to realize, hey, I'm rocked. I ain't got the legs. I'm spinning this way anyway. Let me just throw a Hail Mary, caught dude right on the face. Kai France is also a good fighter as well. So I enjoyed that fight. That was really good. That was something that, I really wasn't paying attention to at first. And then after the first clash happened, I was like, oh, I need to pay attention to these cats. They brawling.
Yeah.
The Mean Hakeem fight, that one was good. I felt like that was a good back and forth. They were swinging at each other and missing by inches. So that was all about foot position, footwork, head movement. You know what I mean? Eventually, I think he ended up getting enough leg kicks on his opponent, and he kind of like, I don't know, he just fizzled the flame out of dude, and ended up chasing him around the ring, telling him to fight. So once I saw that, I knew he won that fight. Really wasn't digging the girls' fights too much. I don't even think they're like top 10 fighters. I don't believe. I think they might be right on the cusp of that. I think one was maybe a number 7, one was like 15.
I could tell you.
You know what? I take that back. I take that back. The Brazilian girl, she showed, you know what I mean, she had some skill, but it wasn't nothing that was like had me drawn to the TV. I think I was cooking some carne asada or something, and I was going back and forth. I was going back and forth out to the grill on that one.
She did good, man. I think she was she fought with a little bit more confidence in her game plan and her strategy, and it seemed as though she was just she's the bigger person, and she was definitely in there using her height and her reach to her advantage, and it was working. I mean, it just seemed that she definitely had the upper hand when it came to strength and reach, and she basically based her game plan on that. Like we're not here to do anything else except for rough you up against this fence a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep you at bay with the jabs and the kicks, and just you're gonna have to come in here and take some punishment. You know, because her thing is I know they say that she likes to wrestle, she likes to grapple, she wants to grab you. You know what I'm saying? So she was kind of tempting the other girl the other lady to come in like, yo. She's kind of tempting her like, yo, if you want to beat me, you're gonna have to come at me. But if you come at me, then you're gonna have to deal with the grappling. But I will say her opponent did a great job. Like from what I remember, there was no takedowns. Like she avoided all takedowns and basically made the Brazilian stand up and fight.
Eubanks. Sajara Eubanks, I believe her name is.
Eubanks. Yeah. I know what she is. Yeah. I like her too, man. I like her too. But yeah, like she just had, it was just a situation to where that the size and the reach, and then, you know, it was just the way that the Brazilian was fighting, it just wasn't gonna work out for her.
Well,
she did use her advantages.
She needed to get in there and tumble, but she was too afraid of the takedown. So I mean, that's what happens when you fight timid.
Yeah, it's crazy, you know, because it's like I am sitting here. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna put my age out there. I'm 38, and I think she's 37. I was like looking around, like maybe there's some time left.
Hold on, brother. Hold on. Let me slow you down. I'm pretty sure was it 37 or 35? Maybe you're right. Maybe she is 37.
She's 37.
She's 37. But I mean, I'm no disrespect, brother.
Nah, I'm talking
shit. So anytime somebody tells you no disrespect, here comes some disrespect.
I see, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you in shape, sometimes you not in shape. You know what I'm saying? I look at her and I'm like, okay, she just always is in shape. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to you. I think if you dedicated yourself, you know what I'm saying, you could go in there, show up, fight a couple of rounds, and probably avoid a knockout or something. You know what I'm saying? Lose a couple close matches.
I don't think I can do that at this point. I'm just talking shit, bro.
Notice I ain't say nothing about winning, though, right? I just said, you know what I'm saying? You can give somebody some fights, you know?
I'll probably go in there and earn some money. You know, I'll earn my lost money. But, that's it.
Hey, it's the lumps worth it, though. It's the lumps worth it.
Right. I was just impressed. I'm just impressed by, you know, how old she is. And she started old. 28. Yeah, she started old. Yeah. Maybe I got my numbers mixed up. Maybe she 35 and started 28.
It don't even matter. Late. It don't even matter. She started late, and she's still fighting at an older age right now. Because I remember when they mentioned her age, I was like, the only person that is as old as her is Holly Holm. And then both of them are in phenomenal shape, though. So,
yeah.
Well, you know, it's easy to be in phenomenal shape sometimes. You have certain.
Not at this age.
But
ribeye steaks, man, they look too good. You got to get them ribeye steaks.
No, definitely, for sure. Not for me. Not for me for sure, but for others. But
all kinds of marbling in there, man. Look, man. I don't need to explain to you guys. I'm sure you guys enjoy a good steak every once in a while. You know what that marbling means, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, dealing with you guys, you made it to where I don't even really need to give my opinion on those fights because you expertly handled it. So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to give my opinion on what I didn't like to see. And, and I'm gonna keep it away from the main card because the main card is going to be its own separate conversation. I'm going to talk about the light heavyweight champions fight. Now, mind you, this was a vacated. This was a vacated belt because John decided to step away from the light heavyweight division, and he's training to be a heavyweight. But the question is, like, because I saw a video not too long ago where, like, it almost seemed like I was like, is this dude training to be a boxer? Like, he had what's his name talking in the background, and it was just nothing but boxing highlights on his video. I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but all right. But anyway, back to this main event. Dominick Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Blachowicz, yeah. Yeah,
Blachowicz. So anyway, this fight did nothing but showed me John was correct in stepping away from the light heavyweight division. Like this, this
wait, before we laugh, in what way? In what way is he like is dangerous for him right now, or is it just nothing there for him? Like
there's no competition there for him.
Like, there was. Well, just real quick, I'm just going to interject real quick, man. There was a lot of holes in both of their game. Like, and I'm sure at every turn, Mark, you were just like, yep, John Jones would have cleaned them up right there. He would have got cleaned up right there. Like, that's what I saw. I saw a couple of people fighting over scraps is what I saw.
Yeah, like legitimately, I watched this fight and I was like, okay, so these were the top contenders for the belt. So you mean to tell me John would have had to train to fight one of these dudes? Like, what a waste of his time. Like, so I just thought it was absolutely ridiculous myself. And like, there was just, like you said, there was holes in their game. There was holes in their stand-up. There was holes in just their ability in general.
Let me just put it, dude, if Reyes was the fighter that he should be, he wouldn't have got his ass knocked out.
No, he wouldn't have. And,
that's it, because it wasn't like he pulled, like, something amazing happened and he just got hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll let you continue, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, if Reyes was the fighter that he should be, he wouldn't have gotten knocked out. And the fact that hater-ass Daniel Cormier is still running around crying and trying to put it on anybody to beat John, and he's like, oh, John just left the light heavyweight division because he didn't want to fight Reyes. Are you serious, bro? You have eyes like I have eyes. You could have beat Reyes, and I don't like you. I don't like you, man. And you could have beat that man. Like, this dude's stand-up defense was trash. Like, his
trash. What defense, man?
Like,
that boy's out there with his chin out and his arms open. Like, I'm trying to figure this out, man. When I saw that punch come in, I'm like, does he not see it coming? Like, we watched the slow motion replay. He's standing there like this. Like, what is? Yeah, man.
Like Jan is coming in with these hammer fists with these big ass gloves, and that shit is slow as shit. And I'm like, oh, that's still going to connect? Like, how is this happening? Like, how is this happening? How have
y'all talking about the punches? Y'all not talking about the kicks. You see my dude's back after 2 kicks.
Yeah, like
what are you talking about? The hole in the side of his rib cage? I was like, yo, man. I was like, first off, man, is that like, what do you got psoriasis? What happened to you? What happened to your side, man? It's just like a big ass red print on there. I'm like,
yeah, my God,
it's bleeding directly. Oh, like, that thing is bleeding directly under the skin. Like, if you peel back that first, like, a millimeter of skin, you're going to see blood pouring out of that thing, man. I was like, yo, what in the world happened to your rib cage, my man? Like, Like, come on, man. This shit was ridiculous, man. You can't be taking those kind of kicks.
Nah.
Man.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm glad it happened to him because, you know, for the last, I don't know when the last time he fought John Jones, but I had to hear this man make excuses, how the judge got it wrong, how John Jones is running. Like every time I would get on social media, there go Reyes. There go Reyes. I did 5 rounds with Jones. I pushed Jones. I did what nobody could do. I pushed Jones to the limit. And the judges got it wrong. I should be champion. That's my belt he's holding. That's it. Man. And then when he left the division. Oh, see, he's scared to fight me. And I'm going to prove it to the world when I fight Jan. I'm going to be the champion. And then I had to watch the embeddeds because I watched the embeddeds and I'm watching this guy walk around and just talk and talk and talk. And, you know, he reminded me of like Vegeta a little bit. And even got Vegeta's hairline a little bit. I would put that in there a little bit. He even got his hairline a little bit.
Hey,
you know how he claims to be the best, but when it's time to take the test, Vegeta's my dude, but you fail. You're not. So, and the fact that you failed in spectacular fashion, like it wasn't like a bad stoppage. Or this is a bad TKO stoppage. The ref needs to be talked to, or you know, he just got outpointed. Or he just didn't pull the trigger like Yoel. No, your nose was upside down, Mr. Potato Head. Like it was sideways. Like did you see his nose? Like it was.
No, that thing was crushed. What you talking about?
Soon as he connected, it was like sideways.
Yep.
Like it was done. And it's like.
So this is.
Then, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna say so. This is my issue with this fight, man. So, and I mean no disrespect by this. Mark, I know what you're thinking is about to get disrespectful. But look, look, people, heavyweights, right, that were at the height of the game, right, that was supposed to be champ, you know, right? There's guys that you can lose to, and there's guys that you can't lose to. And if you lose to a guy that you're not supposed to lose to, you can't have it happen in this type of fashion. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean is I love Mark Hunt. You know what I'm saying? I love Sylvia. But those are guys that you knew what they was coming to do. They in there to drop hammers. You know what I'm saying? They don't got nothing else to their fucking game, nothing else. They just coming in there to drop hammers, and hopefully just one out of these 100 that I'm gonna throw at you is gonna stick. And all they need is one haymaker, right? This is it. Like you dealing with somebody that's coming in there trying to drop some fists on you. And how could you not have the defense? How could you not be defensively prepared for what you were expecting? That man's throwing haymakers in the form of kicks and punches, and you was taking them both. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't understand it, man. It doesn't make sense to me. And when I watch it, it's not even like, hey, kudos to the other guy. No. You're leaving yourself wide open. Like anybody would have hit you with those.
Yeah, anybody would have won that fight. I don't want to take nothing from Jan, but like you said, like it was like too easy, you know.
Right.
Anybody could have did that.
You can't. Like you shouldn't have. The way from what I saw, you shouldn't even had a chance to fight for the belt. That's how I feel about it. But
now,
Imagine if Dana had a sanction or a rematch. Let us say that John had stayed in there and they got a rematch. This is the guy. This is what would have shown up in Abu Dhabi to fight John.
Right. Like, this is
John is 100% for rematches. John is 100% for KOs and rematches.
And I was going to mention that because if anything, John has proven that the one thing you don't want to do is fight him in a rematch. Because, like, yo, if you thought you had the minute chance in the original, the second time around, he had your number and he was going to make you feel like you shouldn't have been there. Like he did it to Gustafsson, he did it to Cormier. Like he's just going to break you down and make you feel like an idiot for stepping in the ring and make you feel stupid for even wasting your 8 weeks training to fight him.
All that money wasted.
Honestly,
all that training money wasted. Bro.
Look, man.
Like, I stayed in this hotel. Like, I had these guys come out. Like, nah, dog, you went to the mountains for nothing. You went to the mountains to get punched in the face. Congratulations.
I 1,000% feel like he takes it personal when the rematch happens. Like, he's literally saying, why do people? I feel like he gets like he's probably one of these people that's like MJ, man. You know, Jordan used to create like situations in his mind where people are disrespecting him when they're not, right? Yeah. So I feel like it's like, okay, the rematch is booked, right? And then he starts seeing people interested in the rematch, and it's like in his brain, he's just like, man, I don't even understand why people want to see this, man. Like, did I not beat him good enough the first time? It's like he just starts psyching himself out. Like, yo, man, this dude is wasting my time. He's wasting the people's time. He's wasting his time. You know what? I'm going to show him. I'm going to clean him up real good. So when he looks at himself and he looks at his trainers and says, yo, I just wasted X amount of time prepping for this fight, I want him to understand, yes, exactly. Now you know how I feel. Like, I feel like that's what's going through John Jones' head. Like, I think he really gets pissed off that people are even excited to watch a rematch. Like, right. For real? Y'all want to see this again? Like, why? Do you think he has a chance? Like, what do you think something's going to be different? Like, well, you know what? Obviously, there's too many people that are tuning in, that are going to tune into this. I got to do something about this. Hold on. Let me whip his ass so that nobody has any doubts and they never want to see me fight this dude again. Like,
I kind of blame it on you. I blame it on the UFC marketing staff too. I do too, because they'll ride.
Oh, they be gassing
whatever. They'll ride with whatever the fans think. That was like with Gastelum. He was like one of the only people to test John Jones. Was it a fluke? Do we have a new king of the division? And then they have all the like the backdrops and all those other stuff. And John gotta watch that shit, bro. Like, oh, this is what y'all think. This is what y'all think.
So you telling me
like you know what happened.
So the UFC be setting people up to get murdered, is what you're telling me?
Yes, I do. When it comes to John, I really do.
I mean, you think they in the back room?
Was that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Let you finish.
It reminds me of this press conference when Mike Tyson came back from prison and he was supposed to fight somebody and they was gassing up the other fighter and he looked up and was like, y'all gonna get this man killed. Y'all gonna get this man killed. That's what's gonna happen.
Hurricane McNeely. Oh,
was that it?
Buddy, I'll never forget that shit, man. He was talking cash shit. Like that's his. He's exactly where they got the character from with the Great White Hype movie, man. That was what that character was based off of. So, he was an Irish dude or whatever he did. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna find the clip because, and I'm gonna put it for the pod.
Like the whole arena was gassing this dude up and laughing at his jokes. And Mike Tyson, like, "What you got to say, champ?"
Like, yo, he got
y'all gonna get this man killed.
he got on the podium and recited a poem. Like he got.
He was speaking in rhyme, bro. Like. So I am big pentameter and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude was up there.
Yo, the dude had like 3 haikus ready and waiting. Like,
and it took me a while too. I was like, wait a minute, is he rhyming? Wait a minute, this dude. Oh nah, man, nah, this can't be it, man. You clowning like Tyson ain't already hungry because he fresh out of jail. You wanna try to piss off a fresh out of prison, Mike Tyson? Yo, I just remember him getting dropped like 2 or 3 times in the first like minute and a half. I was like, yo,
he got up and ran around the ring like he tried to run.
Like he tried to run it off. Like Let me shake
Yo,
this. Like,
gotta
no.
get out of there, man. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, whose uncle did they pay to come in this ring, man?
Yo,
That's what's wild.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like promotions would get you killed. So I believe the UFC sometimes you try to get some of these fighters killed just for good numbers. It's not fair.
Yeah, and in Daniel Cormier's case, he's just throwing everything but the kitchen sink at John.
Daniel Cormier is campaigning. Daniel Cormier is that guy in school that got beat up, you know, by one guy, and like every new dude that come to school, he always the first to meet you and try to turn you against the guy that beat him up. You know what I mean? Hey, don't talk to him, bro. He's stink, bro. Don't talk to him. He's stupid. Nobody like it. You know what I mean? And you like, yeah, let me make my own judgments. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker saw a week later, but like, yeah, everybody telling me he beat your ass. Man, he snuck me, man. He's a dog. Hey, don't listen to that, man. Who told you that?
Right.
Come on.
That ain't what really happened. See, that's why I don't like it. That's not what happened. I was drunk, you know. So that's how Daniel is that guy that's just bitter. He's bitter, man. Like Daniel would be the wife, the estranged wife asking for alimony. Like, for real. That's what he just gonna let bygones be bygones. Like he's literally gonna ask for monthly.
You say Daniel Jones is Dr. Dre's estranged wife?
Yeah, angry spouse energy. He's an angry opponent. Like if he could actually get compensation for losing those fights, if there was a way he could do it, like get like support or therapy money, he would definitely do it. He would sue John Jones.
Well, listen, thank you for that segue, because before we get to the main event, I like that you said that, because Daniel Cormier and Dana White somehow figured out exactly how to get paid to get an ass whooping. So, because somebody...
Don't tell me he got wounded warrior support. Don't tell me you got that.
Yo, somehow he got spousal abuse support. Because this dude,
domestic violence support.
This dude,
stop it, y'all.
This dude got $1 million for getting his ass beat by John in their second.
And he's still mad.
Yeah, in their second fight.
John Jones can whip my ass for $1 million right now, and I'm gonna be there. I'm like, yo, we can go out and we can get drinks right now, you know? on me. Like, I got it. Don't worry.
I'll be like just give me the arm bar. I'll tap out real fast. Don't even worry about it. Like,
let's get this over with. Let's get in this octagon, get it over with. Get your win, raise your hand. Let's go get drinks afterwards.
But yes. No, in a podcast interview, Daniel Cormier got $1 million bonus handed to him by Dana White for no reason at all. In his loss to John, in his second loss to John, and there's, if nothing screams to me that like, yo, you're my good old boy.
Yeah,
like that's man. It.
Yeah,
you're my company boy. Like here's just a random $1 million. I know you lost. I know you didn't make good on any promise that you had coming in. But random $1 million. Meanwhile, you have fighters complaining that win, like, yo, I didn't get my fight purse, and like they're out here campaigning for a fight of the week or a knockout of the night simply so they could get the bonus. But this dude,
everybody looks like, when you watch the prelims, bro, everybody looks like bums. Like every time they win a fight, like, can I get them 50 G's? Hey, yo, can I get them 50 G's? Like, how you got your fighters living that they begging? Like, can I get them 50 G's?
Yo, but like
I've looked at the amounts that they get paid, and until you become somebody, you're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I saw some of them too. And I believe Dana White tried to release John Jones's record. He was like, over the 11 years he was champion, he made $7.5 million. He should be happy. Like, fool, there's nothing.
Yeah, that $7.5 million is nothing compared to the amount of money
a year. That's less than $1 million a year that he's fought for your organization.
And then not only that, but the UFC as a whole is stepping on your sponsorship money, because guess what? Oh, are you sponsored by Monster Energy? You sponsored by NPH? Like, it don't matter who you sponsored by, because guess what? You about to wear these Reebok shorts. That's what's
Right.
about.
Remember when somebody had a Nike sponsorship, bro?
Right.
You know, Nike paid mad money. I got a Nike sponsor. I think John Jones had the Nike sponsorship. I think he may have lost his after his little cocaine car accident, but there was somebody else.
Little cocaine car accident. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
he didn't lose that fight coming out of jail after it, though.
Nah, he didn't.
No, go ahead.
But then, you just get signed by Nike, and then you got to wear Reebok. Like, I don't understand Israel Adesanya either. Like, he just got a sponsorship with Puma, but you can't really rock none of this stuff when you fight. You got to do all those Reebok stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know how his sponsorship is going to work out unless he just does it on his casual internet site, which is
it's still not the impact that they paid for. Not the impact.
Yeah, like Doug, and not only that, I miss the old shorts where you had the big ass muscle farm big ass muscle farm fucking sign on your shorts, and your shorts was all colorful, like you look like a fucking NASCAR coming out because you got all the sponsors on you.
Mark, man, I'm just think about this, man. Think about every freaking douchebag walking around with Oakley's in Affliction t-shirts that exist in this world. That shit would not exist if Chuck Liddell wasn't walking around with these t-shirts, these tap out t-shirts and all this stuff. Like, tap out and Affliction would not exist if it wasn't for the UFC.
I was just about to say the UFC fan has changed over the years since they've gotten rid of those sponsorships, because everybody was sucking down protein and wearing
people would drink. Giants. Man, I didn't know what the hell they was putting in them things, but I can tell you what, they was in all the stores that I was walking into.
Right.
like Doug, man, they had us all wear Ed Hardy for a little bit because
Ed Hardy, all that shit was popping.
Like Doug, man, they took over when it came to those sponsorships.
Pretty sure Dan Henderson was hard body wearing. Was he wearing Ed Hardy? I don't know. There's a couple cats. There was a couple cats.
Yeah, there's a lot. There was a lot.
But like I said, man, tap out and Affliction. What would they be right now if it wasn't for UFC letting these cats get their sponsorships, man? Like,
but UFC made sure to step all over that, and now you wear a Reebok. Now you wear a Reebok and can't get no money, and meanwhile they giving the random $1 million to Daniel Cormier. So look,
show me a Reebok UFC T-shirt. That speaks to the average UFC fan. I bet you can't show me one.
Man,
that's
if
the
I
problem.
seen somebody walk out with like a UFC tank top, I'm gonna have to clown them.
Look, man, I'm just saying,
listen, I'm gonna have to be honest.
It's not like football. It's not like football or basketball where you can rock the jersey. It's like, back in the day when Affliction was around, you used to have the fight shirts, the fighter walkout shirts. They should still let you do that. Like, I understand that. Like,
yeah, but I was gonna say, you talk about if they wear just a UFC shirt, you kind of look at them funny. Man, it's the equivalent of wearing like the little sideline wide receiver coach polo tops from the NFL. Like, nobody's going out there buying that shit and wearing it for real. Like, and if they are, I'm gonna clown them. If they are, I'm gonna clown them.
Listen, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If I see somebody wearing Reeboks, period, I'm clowning you. Like, who the fuck wears Reeboks, bro?
Dog,
who's still buying Reeboks?
You're making a point.
Reeboks is one step from the fucking from the lawnmower New Balances, dog. Like, why the fuck do you got those? Like,
look, I'll be honest with you. At this point, what would you rather be caught in right now? Right now, I don't even care what style. Right now, a pair of Filas or a pair of Reeboks.
That's tough.
The fact that you got to think about it that long is already enough. You don't even. The fact that you got to think about it is a problem, yo. Like if I said Adidas, you'd be like, "Hey, of course I'm wearing Adidas." Like, no, man, right. I said Filas. I even said it don't even matter the type of the. You're like, man, I still don't know, man. I just maybe I wear the Filas, maybe I wear the Reeboks. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like that's crazy. That's crazy. That should say enough. That should say enough, man. Reebok is only around right now because of apparel deals with professional sports.
That's the only reason why they still have an existence.
But you know, I think they renegotiated the contract, and Reebok is not going to be at UFC anymore. I can't remember who's taking over. It's another sport apparel company, but Reebok ain't gonna be it anymore.
Like if it ain't named Under Armour or Nike or something like that, then they just need to leave that shit alone. Which even then, I still would be upset. I still want to see people like the individual fighters' personality through what they're wearing, through their through their deals with their endorsement. It's a big part. Like, they don't have a uniform. You used to watch, when you watch football, teams have a uniform. You know what to expect when you see this person. If I see Patrick Mahomes, I'm expecting to see red and white. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Red, white with a little hint of yellow. Like with these guys, it used to be that way. Like if you heard this person's name and you knew they were coming down the ramp for an entrance, you knew what you expect. You knew what to expect visually.
Well, from a business standpoint, I'm hating on it because it's taken away from the fighters, and those are the guys who need to get paid.
It is.
They're the one putting everything on the line. From a business standpoint, the platform has changed. You're no longer Spike TV. You're no longer FX. So what you want to do is you're Fox now or you're ESPN, where those are like real sport channels. You want to look uniform. You want to appear organized like NFL. NBA, NHL. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I can see why they would want to go out and get some uniform sponsorship deals so everybody looks the same and it's presented nice. But the fighters are the one putting everything on the line, So
for me, that's BS. That's BS only because boxing still exists. Like boxing don't have to do that. You don't see everybody come out in the same colored trunks with the same sponsorships and all that stuff. Like boxing is halfway dead, but boxing still makes more money than UFC, right?
You as the boxer definitely still make more money than you as the UFC fighter, and a lot of that has to do with your sponsorships and the amount of money coming through because it's not all being funneled to the organization. You have a way of direct sponsorship and being on TV through direct sponsorship. Like even with your gloves doesn't have to be the same gloves that the other man is wearing. Like as long as they're regulation, it's cool. Like
here's an analogy, man. It's like when you're 16 years old, okay, you have the ability to go out and go get a job, right? So if not, then guess what? Whatever money comes in and it goes to your parents, you're just hoping that they break you off some crumbs, right? You just hoping, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if I'm nice to them, maybe if I just do everything right as a child, they'll just give me some money and I can buy the things that I want. Or you can have a direct line, like you said, by being able to go work and go get your own money. And then you can spend it and do whatever you want with it at that point. And it's almost like UFC is like, I don't care that you can go I don't care that you have another job. I don't care that you're 16 and you have a job. You got to quit your job right now because you're in my house and I'll kick you out. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a whole ass move, man.
Basically, what they're doing
hold up. Let me finish. Let me just finish. Get this last part out. The biggest issue, like you said, is taken away from the fighters. I have no problem with them if they've taken away the sponsorships from the fighters. If in turn they taken this Reebok money and the sponsorship money and giving it to the fighters, which it does not look like it's happening. It don't look like it's happening.
It's not. No, it's not. Right. I forget the amount that they get. They only get it's measly. I want to say, don't quote me, but I want to say recalling is like $150, $200 extra on top of what they did per fighter.
Yeah, that ain't it. But you're absolutely right. That's nothing, and it's unfortunate with what's going on. So, but time to get into the real topic of conversation, and that is the main event of the evening, which was Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa.
Boo.
Now,
Boo.
there was a lot of build up to this fight, and in the build up to this fight, we expected something different than what we were given. not from Israel's end, but more so from his opponent's. This fight was a problem for me. And I'm gonna go first this time.
Please do.
So listen, I expressed my displeasure with this fight early on because basically, I think Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a game plan until they get punched in the mouth, and essentially, Paulo might have had a game plan, but it seems like from the first leg kick, that game plan was over. Like whatever his game plan was, no longer existed. I watched Paulo fight in a way that I've never seen him fight before. Like this dude is usually
He fought just like Yoel.
Yeah,
He just didn't stand there in the middle of the ring for 2 minutes, but he fought just like Yoel.
Yeah, like you can't. Like I watched Paulo be aggressive in every fight I've seen of him prior to this, and in this fight, he comes forward, after the first leg kick, stops moving, and then just it stands in the middle of the ring, and I'm like, Doug, listen, that first leg kick, you might have felt it, but that stopped you from being aggressive at all. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like not only that, but like it was a failure from if your game plan was to try to counterpunch a counterpuncher and you're not a counterpuncher, then your game plan is flawed. Like you cannot go into a fight trying to outdo what the other person expertly does. Like you fight your fight, and that was something I was saying in one of the conversations that I was having with someone was that like, yo, fight. Like at the end of the day, you have to fight your fight. You can't go in there trying to do something different against somebody that's an expert at that. Like you can't go into the fight trying to counterpunch Floyd Mayweather. That's fucking stupid. Like no, like fight your fight. Like that's not going to work, dog. Like that's just not going to work. And you're not going to sit here and go and try to fight Izzy's fight or try to be more careful with what you do. That's not your fight. Get in there and make this dude tussle you. Make him fight you. Like, that's what I was expecting.
Izzy's changed his style. Like you go back and you look, he's only fought like 6 times in the UFC.
Right.
And when he first came in, he had a different style. He had a go get him style, showstopper style.
Yeah.
He fought Kevin Gaskin, somebody who ran at him, and that fight almost ended badly for him. Right. After that, he fought Robert Whittaker, and if you notice, his style changed. It wasn't that showstopper style anymore. It was more of a counterpuncher style now because he almost lost that Kevin Gastelum fight because he was meeting the guy in the middle, because he was exchanging with the guy, and he ain't got power. So, I mean, he could sit here and talk about precision all he wanted. Yes. He ain't got power, and he couldn't put Gastelum out. He had to fight a hard 5 rounds.
I will say this, though. I will say this before you finish. Izzy did look like he put on some muscle in this fight. He
had to, because you see who he's going against.
And he
had a precursor. He had a precursor to who he fought, because Yoel Romero fought Paulo Costa, and I believe Yoel Romero won that fight. Paulo Costa put it on him, but if you watch that fight again, Yoel Romero won that fight, but they gave it to Paulo Costa. So Paulo Costa shouldn't have been touted as somebody who beat Yoel Romero because he took it to him. Because he did the first couple rounds, but Yoel Romero actually took it to Paulo Costa. So we watch Izzy. We watch Izzy fight Yoel Romero. He runs in with the same type of style as Kevin Gastelum. I talked a lot of shit. I done said that I was going to make this dude crumble like the Twin Towers. I got to do it. Boom. He gets hit with granddaddy backhand, right? Bam, that 40-year-old backhand. Swells up his face hella big. That's when he started running on the outside of the cage and started doing leg kicks. So going into this fight, Paulo Costa's worried about Izzy doing the same thing. And if you listen to his interviews, he's like, I'm not going to chase him. I'm not going to chase him. That's the best thing you can do. Kevin Gastelum did that and he was successful. Yoel Romero didn't do that and he was not successful.
Right.
Robert Whittaker was just swinging for the fences. You know what I mean? He's a shorter fighter, shorter limbs, and Izzy was able to do the Muay Thai backbend on him and move out of the way several times. And then also Robert Whittaker was doing something that he shouldn't have did in the first couple rounds, was trying to end it. He was swinging with everything he had. Like every punch was like life ending. And by round 2, you gassed. You ain't got no energy. You ain't got no head movement, no footwork. You get picked apart. So then we watched back to Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa was looking at the Yoel Romero fight. He was saying, I'm not going to be that guy. And he ended up being that guy. So it's been a transformation of the styles that Israel Adesanya has. The style that doesn't work for him is pure pressure. He can sit here and talk about, oh, I'm the style bender, I'll just move out of the way. But you can only do so much running. The center of the ring is smaller than the outside of the ring. If I'm making you run laps around the outside of the ring because I'm pressuring you from the inside, my circle is smaller than your circle. Who's gonna get tired first?
Exactly.
You are.
And this is my, that's my issue with the whole situation, was because I'm watching this fight and I'm like, Israel is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So I do not take anything away from him because that's what you are supposed to do in this fight. But Paulo did none of what he was supposed to do. And that was my issue, is because I literally watched one person do what he was supposed to do and the other guy do zero of what he was supposed to do. And I said to someone else, I was like, this is less of Izzy winning the fight and more of Paulo losing the fight. Because Paulo didn't do anything that could have possibly been effective. Especially, Doug, I'm looking at your leg and I'm seeing it taking abuse. The more you feel that, the more you need to be like, all right, I can't keep doing this. This is going to end badly. So you have to, so as after round 1, you should have came in there like a freight train straight at his face and force him to run from you. Force him to look silly or bang with you. Because if he bangs with you, you have a chance. If you don't bang, he's going to destroy you like he did in round 1. That was a failure of his coaching to not tell him that. And that was a failure on his part for not realizing it. And that's where I really had a problem with it. Izzy did exactly what he was supposed to do. He broke him down. He broke down the tree, basically. He broke him down. And Paulo just stood there and took it. And not only did he stand there and take it, but he stood there and took it with a smile. Dog, this dude is kicking you in the face and you smiling? No, he's kicking you in the face. That's a point. Do something. What are you doing? I hated it. But anyway.
All right, look, man. All right, so where do I start, man? Okay, number one. I did not tune in. Like I told you, Mark, I said it in the group, I'm only here for the main event. That's the only reason why I was here, okay? Thank God that the other fights that I happened to peek into were actually worth my time. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you something. I thought I was tuning into a UFC match and not a professional lumberjack competition on ESPN Ocho. Okay? I don't know what the fuck. Dog, I seen him just chopping away. I was like, yo, the whole first round? Like, the whole first round? Like, let me tell you something, man. This is, I'm no professional here, Tyrone. You know what I'm saying? You're the professional here. But let me tell you, even though I'm not a professional, there's one thing that I understand is common in all forms of fighting. is your legs is your foundation. Okay.
Yes.
Once your legs get tired, you know, naturally you just have a hard time holding your body up, right? You know, in boxing, it's bad because you get knocked down. You're usually going to lose that round. You get knocked down. In MMA, it creates a situation to where you're vulnerable to submissions and all kinds of other mess. You know, getting mounted, getting a half mount, full mount. It just puts you in a bad position if you're on the ground. Okay, especially
or
if
put you in a position to get humped by the opponent. You know.
You know what? We're gonna get to that. Okay, but I'm trying to say something, man. So you are Paulo Costa, right? You're not a guy who's trying to take the game to the ground. Not unless you're mounted somebody, then you are not trying to take this game to the ground at all. You are here to rumble and tumble, okay? Now I have a question, man. If you ain't got no leg kick defense, absolutely none at all, isn't the only other option to charge in? Isn't that the only other option? Like, I'm trying to figure this out, man. You either charge in or you figure out a way to back up when they try to kick you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, even if you don't have, like, if you don't have the defense, it's nothing to the defense, but the cross beats the leg kick every time. As soon as you feel it, you throw the cross, you're going to catch the guy. He can't move his legs.
He feels
I don't know why he didn't do it.
He felt like he's too slow. But I'm getting to this. I'm getting to this point because it's my issue, dog. So you came in here, you felt like you were going to get outclassed. You know what? You know what? I'm going to get into the bottom of this because I figured it out by the second round. In the first round, second round, what his actual game plan was. If you guys were paying attention, you would know that his game plan was to try to bait him. He was trying to bait Izzy by showboating, doing all this other shit. And I'm like, yo, man.
Meanwhile, he's bleeding from the eye. He's trying to bait him in. Like, why would I come in after you're already hurt?
Like, dog, I see your leg. You're like, your leg is a target right now because of how it is.
You telling me you got a royal flush, but I can see in the reflection of your shades that you got two twos. That's it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's showing. It's right there for everybody to see what we doing here, man. So it's one of these things where it's like, yo, clearly you were getting beat up. You should have abandoned the taunting game plan. But first off, if your game plan to coming in doesn't involve anything with fighting, if it doesn't involve any form of fighting, you already fucked up. I'm going to get him to take the fight to me. Well, how you going to do that? I'm just going to make funny faces at him, stick my tongue out, wag my hands, finger in my hand, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that your fucking game plan?
Bro,
you know what?
You're absolutely right. I've seen a lot of guys fight champions, and they do that. When it gets to they want the champion to initiate. He's the champion.
You can't.
You're attacking
have to
his kingdom, homie. You have to attack.
Tyrone, but even beyond that, this is the problem. This is what Izzy does. Like, first off, Izzy is the biggest fucking Anderson Silva fan. Okay? You think that he's going to fall for that when he's been studying it his whole life? You're crazy, man. Like, he ain't stupid. Like this is like, how you going to beat somebody with something that they do? That's what I'm trying to understand, man. Yeah. Like, you can't. So not just with the technique and the counterpunching and all that stuff, but even down to the taunting. Like, who was coaching this dude, right? And I'm telling you, like, as big as he is, yo, I am still a firm believer that Izzy don't want to get hit, man. I'm a still firm believer that he does not want to get hit at all, man. So I don't even think Paulo Costa would have had to hit him too many times. 2 or 3 times would have been good. 2 or 3 times would have been good, and he would have been taken out of his game plan. And this is the thing, man. If you know that you're fighting Izzy, and you know this dude is quicker than you, and you know in Izzy's mind is, hey, I have to make sure this dude does not get close enough to me. You know the leg kicks are coming. How are you not prepared for that? How are you not prepared? Poor coaching, his team is trash. He's trash. But Izzy, I'm going to talk about Izzy now because I know everybody was like, oh, man, such a great win for him. He looked amazing. He's good. He dominated the match. Let me tell you something. Me and you had this conversation the first time we talked about him. And I told you I felt like he fights timid at times, right? Now, did you see any showboating? Did you happen to notice any showboating from Izzy? Did you happen to know any? During the fight, did you happen to notice any?
Oh.
I didn't know. It looked like he took the fight pretty serious to me, man.
Yeah, he took it serious. I mean, he only responded to showboating. You know, if Paulo talks shit, he would talk shit back. But he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't about that. But that lets me know that there's a little bit of concern, you know, on his part. This extravagant amount of confidence that he shows at any other time is false. Like me and you been talking about. So and I could see it. I'm like, yo, he's just standing there leg kicking him. There was plenty of times where I saw there was gaps there for him to attack. And he was like, no, I'm not going to. I'm just like, though, these two dudes are just going to stand across from each other and nobody's going to make any moves. Now, in one more point for Costa, I have a question for both of y'all, and I'm going to get back into wrapping up what I'm saying.
Well, hold on, because in what you were saying, I'm not necessarily going to say that it was like maybe he just takes the fight seriously, like because I mean that's always a possibility. Like no, like I don't care who you are, I might talk shit before the fight, I might talk shit after the fight, but I'm gonna take.
Is that in his character?
And I'm gonna beat your ass.
When has that been in his character?
Listen, you can switch up. Like you can understand who you're fighting and be like, look, I'm gonna fight you seriously, and I'm going to break you down.
But Mark, you're making my finishing argument for me. So I'm gonna get back to what you're talking about now. But real quick, I had a question for you. How was Costa attacking Izzy? Just a question, because. Okay. So he never attacked. That's my point. Okay, so now let's get to the finish. He finally chops him down. You know, the tree finally falls, and he just charges in. You know, he does what he has to do to finish the fight. Takes his back and just starts punching him. That's cool. And then for him to go and hump this dude, like now this is the problem. Exactly what you're talking about, Mark. Maybe he's taking it serious because he should be, because this is a real fight. For him to go and hump this dude's back as if he knew that he was going to finish him, as if he knew it was going to be an easy fight, as if it was light work. That's where I have the problem. Like, you showed me you didn't show that level of confidence or arrogance during the fight. You took it serious. What I'm saying is he had that respect for his opponent in the fight, and then he completely disrespected him afterwards. I don't like the way he's moving like that when it comes to that. I don't like that shit either. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
This is what I want to see. This is the only way I'm gonna respect him. He has to lose, and not because I'm some type of hater. He has to lose, and I want to see how he takes the loss. That's what made me respect Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor sat there and he would always be in people's shit, in their heads, disrespectful. Conor McGregor had somebody at like MI6 or something like that, digging up people's old files, going back to, his granddad used to be in the Inquisition, and he used to, and it's crazy. But after the fight, he would show, humility. He would come in and be like, good fight, you know what I mean, good job. And then he lost. Yeah. And then when he lost, he didn't make no excuses. He didn't.
He just said that person was better. He didn't.
Yeah, he was a better man tonight. And then he said, "I'm gonna come back in, and I'm gonna get my rematch." I can respect him after that. Now, no matter the antics he does, I know what type of man he is under adversity. I don't know what this guy is under adversity, and I feel like he's gonna be a little brat when he loses. I feel like he ain't gonna be him.
No,
I feel
he would never be able to take Costa. He would never be able to take Costa humping him, knocking him out and humping him.
Yeah,
he'd lose his mind. He'd probably be back like in therapy, like we were talking about Daniel Cormier. Like,
you say you're gonna go full DC?
Yeah, he's gonna go full DC. If that ever happens, then he's gonna beat DC. Like, you see what happened to DC? DC was beating everybody, and he was cool with it. Making chicken videos, and then when he lost, DC, he can't even commentate a video without talking about John. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, now John Jones is running. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
First it was, hey, this guy could be trouble for John Jones. Now it's like he's running for people. He's running for
That's
people that
those
have
are guys
existed.
that I cannot respect. That's why Daniel Cormier don't have my respect, because that's the way he is. You know.
Yeah, but let me tell you, the Izzy thing, man.
Hold on.
I have my Go ahead.
Before you say that, because Izzy's not the only person. Like what Izzy did isn't that uncommon. Like for instance, like BJ Penn, like I watched BJ Penn go white blood off his opponent's face and then lick it. And like
But
you know
talking
what I'm
about
saying?
first off,
So like
BJ Penn.
people do crazy shit all the time.
No. We're not gonna equate this to what BJ Penn was doing. First off, I love BJ Penn. Second off, BJ Penn would take, because remember this, most of his fights were knockdown dragouts, and most of his fights, BJ Penn was more bloodied up than his opponents. A lot of his wins, you would look at his opponent and you would look at him and you like, yo, he looks way more beat up than his opponent. He would take his own blood and lick it off his gloves. Like, that was like his signature move. So you're not going to tell, like, that's what he did all the time, though. Yes, it's a little weird when he licks off somebody else's blood that was on his lip. It's a little weird, but licking blood is his thing. So I, like, Izzy ain't out here humping every opponent that he beats, dog. Do your little spinneroonie. Do your little spinneroonie, you know what I'm saying? Do your little breakdancing windmill and shit. Get up off the mat, dog. You hump this dude? Come on, man. Come on. Mark, you are defending him humping a grown man after a fight. After a fight, yo. I want you to understand what you're doing right now. Yo.
Okay.
So
that's
now I'm going to get to my point.
All right.
What is it then, Mark? You tell me.
I'm just saying antics happen every day, dude. That's
Dog, there's a difference between like this.
But no. Like, but I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying antics.
I'm saying this. I'm
happen.
telling you, I am not summing. You can sum it up as antics. I am not summing it up as antics.
Hey, check. You remember when Brock beat
who? Frank Mir.
Frank Mir. Yeah. You know, he beat Frank Mir.
Yeah, I remember.
No, first of all, Brock was winning. He was all gravy with it. This is what made me hate Brock. He was gravy with it. He got hit in that heel hook. And here come the excuses. Here come the crybabies coming out of him now. But when you was laying on people because you weigh 365 pounds,
exactly.
They can't get you up. You fucking, you fighting guys who are like half your size. Like, that's cool. But, a smaller guy gets you, and now you want to cry. So he beats him, and then he walks over to Frank Mir, and then he starts talking shit to him. You know what I mean? I think he opens up a beer or something like that and drinks her and says he's going home to lay on top of his wife or something like that.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that.
That one right there, Dana White didn't like. Dana White was like, yo, this guy's not going to come in here and make this into the fucking WWE. He had something to say about it. It was disrespectful to a great person, a good fighter, and blah, blah, blah. But now you're letting Izzy, hump guys.
Yeah, like, I mean,
first of all, I don't know what it is with Izzy, bro, because first off, he let this dude do a concert before the fight. He did a concert before the championship fight, and now you're letting them hump people. Like, what is going on? What's going on?
Yo, Mark, just come out and say you an Izzy fan.
Izzy got
just
some
come out
pictures
and say
or
you
something.
He got some
pictures or something.
He got some type of stuff, man. He got a private investigator outside the crib right now. You know what I'm
saying? Oh, yeah. So this is what y'all doing to me. Y'all, last time I was a Daniel Cormier fan, and now the Izzy fan. So this is how we living out here.
Name
something more disrespectful. I don't know how you can sit here and get off that.
No.
I just can't.
I need you.
I just can't shit on a dude forever when I know other fighters do similar stuff.
Doggy.
Like
okay,
who?
Now here's where I'm going to get you, Mark. Here's where I'm going to get you. All right? And I'm going to tell you, when I tell you there's a difference between antics and what Izzy did. I don't have a problem with Kobe Covington saying all the wild shit in the world, okay? Because I know he's just trying to bait people. He's trying to play up to the whole MAGA thing. But when he talks about an African dude going back and making clicking sounds and all that shit, that is no longer antics for me. Okay? The same way, to me, I put what Izzy did is one step below Kobe Covington saying what he said recently. That's where I put it. It's a certain level of disrespect that comes.
Yeah, no, it's definitely no. Like, understand that I take it as disrespect, And like, but I'm saying I've seen similar levels of disrespect. All I'm
No,
saying,
you haven't.
All I'm saying
You
is
haven't.
let's not act like this is so far
Give me
outside the
2
realm.
examples of similar disrespect to Izzy humping this dude.
Well, you mentioned the Brock Lesnar one, and
That's not even the similar
him
thing.
going-
He just put
him
his
saying-
finger in his face.
Him saying he's
No,
gonna go
him.
home and him saying he's gonna go home, make
Yo,
love to his wife,
yo,
and then
my dude
and
was
having
not-
and him saying he's gonna
Let
go
me
home and
explain
make love
this
to
to
his
folks.
wife and
I don't
having
think- I don't
somebody
think- I
actually
don't-
try to make love to you. That's
no,
not
he
I
said
don't think-
he's no.
That's
He
two
also
different
said
levels.
no, but you're missing that Izzy walked over to his team and said, "I'm gonna come all over you guys" or some shit like that. I was
You
like,
know what I'm saying?
That was
Check
That's
it.
not
Check
helping
it.
that was
your
some wild
argument.
shit.
Check it.
That's
that was
not
some wild
helping
Check
your argument.
He knocked Costa out. Costa's face down, ass up, knocked out, unconscious. And now my dude's
And he put his penis on his
humping.
back, man.
He's
How
humping.
are you defending this, Mark?
And then you wake up, and then and then if you look at it, what got me upset is that when you look at them when they did the hand raise thing, the official announcement, Costa is clapping for him. He's being a good sport, even though he lost. He's making no excuses. His first loss, he's clapping. He did a good job. He did his job. Then to make it back to Brazil and watch the fight and see that, if he had known that at the hand raising ceremony, it would have been a rematch right there. It would have been a rematch right there at that instant.
Listen, at the end of the day, man.
At the end of the day, he's an ass.
No, yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I can point. Not only is Izzy an ass, but like, listen, like in basketball, you know that Kevin Garnett said Happy Mother's Day to Tim Duncan after his mom died, like people do crazy shit and crazy antics all the time.
Mark, I have a question. Who heard that besides Tim Duncan? Because I can tell you, there's a million people that just watch their father. Like, you watch a man who probably has kids, whose kids are probably going to ask him, "What was that dude doing to your butt? What was that dude doing to your butt, Daddy?" A million people just said he was humping you. What does that mean? Like, it's different. It's different. It's levels to this shit,
I'm
man.
gonna say this, man. Like, I would be on some Daniel Cormier shit. Like, I would file charges. I would do that sexual harassment.
Yo.
You know, that sexual assault.
Yeah.
Because if Dana White ain't gonna let me get my honor back by giving me a rematch,
Thank you.
if he's not gonna let me get my rematch immediately, I'm filing charges. Homie. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'll see you in court. I'm gonna get arrested.
Put cases for all of you.
You motherfuckers gonna be playing ball at Pelican Bay.
Hey, look, see how funny that is when you gotta go stand in court and testify, which you did.
Hey, look, man. I'm just saying, I'm dropping off John Jones' gym bag in the back of his car. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's coke in there, maybe there's not. I don't know. But, you know, whatever happens, happens. You know. I'm just saying, dog. Hey, we gonna have to work something out because, nah, man, that's a no-go, bro. Hey, if he slide up on that motherfucker in public, if he find out where he's hanging out and he slide up on him in public and knock his ass out, you gonna have a problem with it, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
are you gonna have a problem with it if he get the drop on him? If he get the drop on him and he just slide him right there, like, just, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna have a problem with it? Okay, that lets me know that it's more than just antics. All right,
Verdum, Kobe Covington. Remember the boomerang incident?
Mm-hmm.
The boomerang incident. I think Kobe Covington went down to Brazil and caught them off 50 animals, and Brazil is a dirty place, and ain't nothing but animals. And Verdum's Brazilian. I think they were in Australia. Old boy hit him in the face with a boomerang out in the street.
I know that shit hurt.
Because that's mad disrespectful.
Yeah.
And you know what Kobe Covington did? He pressed charges.
We talking about that. That's what I'm saying. You know what you have to do, Paulo Acosta. You know exactly what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Go get your lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Lawyer up.
Charges, bro.
You know what I'm saying? One of the two. Either
like
he owes you a fade.
Bro. He was unconscious, unconsensual. That was not consensual. You can't say yes if you're not conscious. You can't say yes if you're not conscious. That's rape.
Look, man.
He's a rapist.
Oh, we doing a hashtag Me Too for Paul Acosta, man. Look, this is wild out here, man.
Man.
He just maybe we should put a question mark at the end because he's not sure unless he's seen the tape already. Then he's
he
positive.
saw the tape. He did a whole like you know how on Instagram you only get so much time to talk. I think he put like 26 videos up. He's upset.
Hold on. Now that I am completely unaware of. Please enlighten us on Paul Acosta's response to.
Oh yeah, like he said that Israel Adesanya is human trash, and he wants an immediate rematch. He's like, Dana White, you gotta let me. This is personal now. He's like, at first it was about the fight. This is personal. You trying to humiliate me. You got to give me an immediate rematch. He was like, I'm willing to work my way back up, but I got to get an immediate rematch because I got to make it right. Dana White ain't gonna do it, so he needs to.
I'm gonna shoot you some bail right here, Mark. I
don't need the bail.
I'm gonna shoot your man some bail. Your man, that's your boy. You defending him. Hey, look, I'm gonna shoot him some bail right now. Because you know what? If they happen to fight again, I guarantee you Paulo Costa won't be sitting back. I bet you he won't be sitting back next time. I bet you will. Hey, he gonna be thinking about that mushroom stamp on his lower back. That's what he's gonna be thinking about, man. Look,
listen.
This is ridiculous, Mark. I can't believe you trying to defend this, yo.
I'm not trying to defend shit.
They're gonna be in court. They're gonna be like, the defense brings up the first character witness, Marcus Coles. Well, Your Honor, I've seen this happen in sports all the time. It's just antics.
Yo, hey, you know what, Mark? I've done enough here. I'll let you say whatever you got to say. I'm done, bro. I'm done. I think I got my point across here, man.
Listen, man, it's not. The issue is, first of all, you're not gonna put this on me, dog. Like, it's not wrong. That's not.
No, you put it on yourself.
This is the disclaimer.
Like, that's not what we're doing.
And if you're gonna defend your boy, you shouldn't use phrases like "you're not gonna put this on me." Okay, maybe you shouldn't use phrases like that if you're gonna defend him. But continue.
No, so when I say something's not uncommon, that's the offense now. But regardless, that's not the point. The point is, you're not gonna put this on me, dog. I don't know Izzy. We not friends. We not cool. I'm not cool with what he did. But maybe Paulo Costa shouldn't have put himself in a position to allow that to happen in the first place.
Hey, dog. You shouldn't have been wearing that short skirt. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you had a little respect for yourself when you left the house. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. No, listen.
Your shorts should have been baggier. They should have been the tight ones.
I'm trying to figure this out, Mark.
Nobody forced you to drink that beer. Like, I don't care. Like, stop it. Relax.
Hey,
no, but on some real stuff. Though, man. To be completely honest, they could have this fight in 2 weeks because it ended fairly quickly. And the only thing that was all he has to do is heal up from the bruises on his leg.
That might take longer than 2 weeks. That shit was bad.
But all he has to do is heal up from the bruises on his leg. I mean, he should be good, right? Because essentially you allowed your ass to get beat. And
dog.
I can't even say that with a straight face now.
Both physically and figuratively, huh?
Right, exactly.
Oh man. Look.
And now you want an immediate rematch. Don't put yourself in that position, dog. Like, have more. Like, you wanted Izzy to have more respect for him. He should have had more respect for himself and came out with a better game plan. That shit was atrocious. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, now with all this said, Mark, I'm gonna harken back to what I said immediately after the fight. All right, I said I was so pissed off. I said, man, everything that happened to you, you deserved it, man. You deserved it because of what you came out there to do. You came out there with a game plan to taunt this dude and not fight, and you got your ass whooped, and then some weird things happened to you. You get everything that happened to you. You deserved it. So I can't knock you too much. At least mine was in an emotional rage when I said it. You're just calmly like, no, shit happens when you don't prepare for a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like rape happens when you don't prepare for a fight. I didn't know that was a thing, dog.
Yeah.
Like
rape happens when you don't
right.
prepare for the date. You better, you know.
Yeah.
Like, dog, like, listen.
Apparently,
I could go on a whole tangent.
I've never seen an unconscious man. I've never seen an unconscious man humped in a ring ever in any sport.
Never. He said it's not uncommon. It's not. Things like this are not uncommon. I don't know what fights you watch.
I've seen a conscious man do it. I've seen a conscious man. You know, he had him against the ropes in the corner. He did it, and the referee's like, "Hey, stop that." Unconscious. No.
It used to happen in Halo all the time. I don't know what y'all talking about, dog.
I don't play Halo. Because I
don't put yourself in that position, dog.
It did happen. It did happen to Gears of War too, man. I'm not even gonna lie, man. That was the worst thing, man. You get downed, and then you got to stay alive for another 15 seconds. Watch this dude. I seen a dude come out, pull up all his guns, pull them back down, pull them back up, and then in the last 5 seconds, he turned his back and did a slow walk away and just let me bleed out. I was like, come on, man. Just shoot me, man. This is disrespectful. Like,
bro, that's happened to me while the guy was fighting off my team who was trying to heal me. Like he's fighting off. Like,
people get way too disrespectful, dog.
In Gears of War, I had it happen where I was bleeding out. The dude threw a smoke. He like shoved a smoke grenade in my mouth. And then they just started doing the Indian dance around my body. Like while the smoke was coming out, they just circled around my body.
Let me tell you, man. Like, nah. Gears players was different, dog. The levels of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? They were coming up with more and more creators. Like, it's not bad enough. They couldn't just curb stomp you or just blow your head off while you're laying there. Nah. They got to do all kind of weirdo creative shit. You know what I'm saying? But
easy shit, Adesanya shit. They had to do that Adesanya.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure if they could mount my back and start humping me, they would have. But you know, there's a reason why it's not even in video games, Mark.
Right.
All right. Listen.
Man. Yeah. What we got next, man? What we got next? Come on.
I'm gonna just say this, dog. Hashtag me too. Paulo Costa, I'm with you, bro. So anyway, man,
they got support groups out there.
Yeah.
Good lawyer too.
Hey, look. See, we're the problem. We are the people that laugh at men that talk about how they got abused and raped and shit, man. We're the problem, right?
No, dog, this is
but I know this for sure, and hey, mark my words, Paulo Costa now has a Daniel Cormier complex. Guarantee you.
Permanent. It ain't going nowhere.
Anytime he talks, it's going to be Adesanya that comes up. Because you know what Dana White's going to do? He's going to do exactly what he did to Jose Aldo. Let him get wrecked and give him no retribution whatsoever.
Hey, listen. No. Y'all got to stop. Dana didn't let Paulo get wrecked. Paulo and his team let Paulo get wrecked. Like,
if I'm Dana White and I'm like, yo,
you have to get this dude in immediate rematch.
And then I'm going to say, oh, whoa, he humping him? Oh, we got to do an immediate rematch. We have to. It's manhood. That's manhood right there.
Listen, I feel you, except for if I saw the fight that I saw, I'd be like, why would I give a rematch so he can hump you again? Like, I don't want to be an accomplice to rape. Like the second time I'm an accomplice. The first time I didn't know. The second time I'm an accomplice.
The only thing that I was worried about when I would go to my fights is maybe getting knocked out, not raped. So it was not in his head. The worst thing he thought that could happen to him was he would lose the fight. Not that he would go all the way back to Brazil and then when he get at the airport about, yo, you see the video? Like, what video? You didn't watch it? Watch what?
No, see, that's probably not even what happened to him, man. Let's keep it a buck. This man was getting onto the plane to leave and people were snickering and looking at him. Kids was all pointing at, Daddy, look, You know what I'm saying? He didn't understand what's happening. He get off the plane. He's like, man, these people are speaking English. Whatever, man. I'm just going home. He gets off the plane back at home. They snickering. Everybody's laughing. I'm like, you all right, buddy? Like, yeah. I mean, I never really had anybody ask me if I was okay after the fight. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got to his people, they're probably like, yo, man, you doing all right? You see the video? What video? Let me tell you something, man. This dude is going to be traded. If they get this man a rematch, he's going to be training like Jennifer Lopez in the movie Enough, yo. He's going to be waiting to exact the revenge on his abuser. I'm just telling you right now. Like,
now that we know that rape is an option at loss, there's going to be a lot of different fighters out there. Now that Mark says that, now that we know that that's an option, like being humiliated is an option at losing, we gonna fight different. I might hide one of them pills in my trunks like they did in Bloodsport.
Hey, look. Hey, look.
Like, this is not
man,
going down.
They said not only can you lose the fight, you didn't know that you could lose your manhood. Look, man, They try to take everything from you these days, apparently. So,
all right, man. Listen, I gotta get some order back in this job.
Come on, what is it? Come on, man.
All
you
right.
knew once I had something to say about it, the shit was gonna go left. But go ahead.
Listen, all right. Look, man. Let's get out this job, man, and get into the NFL. Week 3 of the NFL was yet another good one. Like every week I watch the NFL, I'm just glad that it's back. Was there any games that seemed to have stood out to you? First of all, I know you usually work, Tyrone, but did you happen to catch any football games this weekend or anything that?
I didn't watch the games because I work Sundays, but Raiders are now Las Vegas Raiders. They played the game. Was that Monday? Played on Monday. Was it Monday?
Well, I think it was Sunday night, or was it?
Was it Sunday night? But it was the first game in the Legion.
It was
Stadium,
Thursday.
so,
He's talking about week 2. He's talking
Sunday.
about week. No, he's thinking about the week 2 game. The week 2 game was Monday night. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That was okay.
So, yeah.
So you watched that one. No, we talking about week 3.
Oh, week 3. No, I didn't catch any week 3.
No, yeah, because so you watched the win. You watched them beat. Who did
it was
they
Saints?
beat? Yeah, it
Saints.
was. It was the Saints.
Saints.
You did watch them beat up on the Saints. Yeah, that was a good game. But yeah,
It wasn't a good game. We just watched Drew Brees be a noodle arm the whole time, and
hey, somebody pulled up a graphic that shit said he never even attempted to throw a pass past 20 yards.
yeah, and
On
he
week
never
3.
Yeah, that's week 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he never. I don't think he attempted one past 20 yards in week 2 either, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man. So Shawn, any particular games stood out to you from this weekend?
Yes. Obviously, I'm going to say there's probably 2 or 3 games. Off the top, I could say I'm going to start with my Niners because that's one of the games. And it's not just because I'm a fan, but because I don't know what you guys were expecting from the depleted roster that we have right now. And then especially with Mullins coming in, playing for Jimmy G, for injured Jimmy G, and then us being down from 3 running backs to 1.
Okay.
Excuse me, 3 from 4 running backs down to 2. So in basically what it looked like is Kyle Shanahan's system is every bit worth the money that he's getting paid. It looked to in the beginning in the first.
It's worth it until you get into the Super Bowl.
Look, man, we talk about right now. You asked me about week 3, bro. You asked me about week 3, bro. Week 3, okay? So for week 3, the game that stood out, one of the games that stood out was the Niners-Giants, just because in the beginning it looked like, okay, they are slowed down. It does look like the injuries have taken a toll, and it seemed like, it's funny, Mark, he was able to make some second-half adjustments, and then all of a sudden the game got blown out of the water. I'm sorry. I can't let you continue to pat this team. You have to. You have to.
It's the fucking Giants. Relax,
Mark,
man.
Mark. I want you to tell me, because I'm just gonna make it very clear now. Every other team that's played the Giants so far did not put up that much points, and we're
It's
throwing
week 3.
We are throwing out third and fourth stringers, Mark. We got Mohamed Sanu just got on the team a week and a half ago, and he was out there making plays.
Yo,
look, Mark, who is our tight end? I want you to know. Want you to tell me who was a tight end that was playing after Jordan Reed got hurt.
You asked me, who else is out there doing what Adesanya is doing? Y'all are. The San Francisco the San Francisco 49ers is out here doing what Adesanya did. The Giants, we know the Giants is not a contending team. Every other team knows that. And they like, okay, we'll just beat you, sweep you out the way. Go ahead, go about your business. You guys wanted to make sure that you took an unconscious body and humped it. Like, why the fuck? Like, Doug, 36-9. Like, Doug, they don't.
Mark,
like, they
I have a question.
They have one player, and he's out for the season. And what are you doing? Like, Mark, so like, why are you
Mark,
out here with the trumpets?
You're not going to do this. Mark, you're not going to do this. You know why? Because we have a 53-man roster, and about 20 to 25 of them are hurt, okay? We don't even have anybody. Tell me what backups we would have had besides the third stringers that we had on the field that we could have started, put our starters on the bench and then brought them off of the bench. There's nobody left on the bench, Mark. I don't know what you want us to do in that scenario. If there's nobody left on the bench, who are we supposed to play? Wilson Jr., the fourth string running back, was in. There's nobody after him, Mark. If we're playing fourth stringers and practice squad players, it means something that we scored 35 points, okay? It means something. Even if it's even if it's the worst team in the NFL, which is the Giants right now, it meant something, Mark.
Yes, it meant that you just beat the slow kid up. Like, why? Stop. Like,
I'm trying to tell you, we just came in there with a college team and beat an NFL team. That means something.
No. You came in there and beat with a Division I team and beat a AAA baseball club.
Dog,
like, dog, they're not even playing the same sport as you. Like, why is you doing
that? Mark, but this is what I want you to do for the remainder of the season. I want you to track the Giants games, and I want you to show me a team that beats them by the margin that we did. Without any of us.
This is my point. Nobody is as disrespectful as you are. Like,
I'm trying to understand, Mark. You saying we ran it up. What else are we supposed to do other than run the fucking ball?
I'm not. No.
With our fourth string running back. It ain't our fault we scored with our fourth string running back.
What I'm saying is, I don't care that you did it. Just don't come in here talking about this is the game I want to talk about with your fucking trumpets and your fucking banjo and your drums. Like, who cares, dog? They trash.
Mark.
Like, you talking about beating up trash.
Dog, you can say beating up trash, man. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm not here to talk about how bad the Giants were. I'm trying to talk about how the offense seemingly still worked. Brandon Ayuk got some touches, right? Because we haven't seen him play all year. I'm not going to sit here and talk about whether or not Wilson looked good or Jerick McKinnon looked good, but I can talk about Jerick McKinnon's catch when he's doing a 360 falling to the ground, catching a ball like a wide receiver, like an elite wide receiver. It doesn't matter if he's playing the Giants. That's a great catch. These are the things that stood out to me, Mark. Okay? What I'm saying is we're finding out that our team is deeper than we thought. Because, yes, we expected to beat the Giants. We should have beat them by 2 or 3 scores. The fashion in which we beat them was not expected, Mark. Did you have us beating them by 30 points?
It wouldn't surprise me.
See, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying that's the reason why I brought it up, man. But either way, let me get to the other game. I'm only going to bring up one other game. The only other game I want to bring up now is the Chiefs and the Ravens game.
Okay.
And the reason why I want to bring that up is because it seems to me that they have the answer they have the answer to – they had the answer last year versus the Titans.
Well, don't get too deep into that because I do want to talk about Monday night and everything specific.
We can talk about that. What I'm saying is these guys have been playing defense at a higher level. That whatever juice that they had from last year, they're still holding on to it this year. And with that said, yes, Mark, yes, there was a whole lot of drops from the Ravens receivers. I do understand that. But what I'm saying is the Ravens were not able to dominate and run the ball 35, 40 times like they wanted to. And that also led to Lamar having to throw a lot. But that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is the Chiefs look elite. They look every bit of elite as I believe them to be before the season started. Patrick Mahomes looks exactly like who he is. Although I think he may have seen Russ have his game and then decided, you know what, I can't let Russ run away with the MVP, and he decided to throw 4 touchdowns as well. But I mean, either way, it was a good game. There obviously is some issues and deficiencies with the Ravens, and this is what I wanted to talk about because I know you're going to bring up the drops. These guys are the same receivers that they had last year. I never believed in any of these guys as much as everybody else did. Maybe this is an anomaly. Maybe this is an anomaly, Mark, but I never believed that these guys were as good as they were. I just believed that they were open.
Yeah. And like I said, I want to talk about that specifically, and we will, but and I have to hold my tongue for now because I got words for you, friend. Like this dude, Tyrone, this dude is the most revisionist bull I know, man. This dude said some stuff last week to me, and now this week he's saying some other stuff. So I have a problem now. Like,
what did I say last week?
No. We'll get there because it's probably going because it's going to be probably a half an hour of me going Adesanya on you. So you gotta relax, all right? Because I'm gonna dig into your ass. All right, pause. But look.
Hey man, so you was defending your boy. I see 2 birds of a feather. They fuck together. What do they do? What did they rape together? What? Mark, help me out.
Dog, you told me you up here touting what the 49ers did to the Giants. Stop it. Relax. Anyway, so games that stood out to me this week. Honestly, first game that stood out to me this week was the Seahawks game, man. The Seahawks game in particular stood out to me because, simply because this pointed out several things to me. The Seahawks were Russell Wilson is on the tear right now, and like it's amazing what he can do when he has more than one receiver at a time on his team, because now that he has multiple receivers, dude is doing something phenomenal, man. What is this? 2 weeks in a row with 5 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah, and he had 4 touchdowns in week 1. So right now he's on pace to have somewhere near 60.
Yeah, he has 14 in 3 games.
14. He's got 14 touchdowns to 1 interception over the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, the dude is phenomenal, man. Chris Carson has been playing well. Unfortunately, they've lost Chris Carson for a few weeks.
Alligator roll due to the alligator roll.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me because I said it in the group. I was like, yo, this dude did the alligator twist, which is absolutely ridiculous. Tyrone, if you're not familiar with what the alligator twist is, it's when after you tackle the person,
you roll the leg.
you roll the leg up and you keep, and so And
But the
this
nastiest part about the Gator roll is like usually when NFL players do it and they do it intentionally, they don't just roll over once. They roll over like 1.5 to 2 times. Like they're trying to tear the leg off, man.
exactly. And this dude does the alligator twist and gets the exact result that he wants. Chris Carson knee is fucked up. And that move and the fact that that move is not illegal is insane to me. Like that should be like one of the first moves that like, yo, if I see you roll around and you're holding on to somebody's leg, that should be an immediate ejection. Like because you could tear somebody's stuff up doing that. And that's the intention. Like the only reason for you to do it is to destroy their leg. Like
it was a defensive lineman. It wasn't like a linebacker or a cornerback. It was like a 300-pound dude doing this, like to a running back. And the worst part about it was the running back was pretty much already down, right? And
pretty much. He was laying on the ground.
But let me put it this way. I'm just trying to make this very clear because let's just say he was down. I saw a Cowboys fan try to equivocate, be like, "Oh, nah, man. Well, how was he? Well, he didn't know he was down. Or how was he supposed to know he's down?" The whistle, my man. The whistle lets you know when the play is over. Matter of fact, your eyes are facing his body. You can see the knee down. You can see that he's down. But like, well, he was still trying to move and get extra yards. It does not matter. That you just yank on his leg. Yank on his leg. You have it. You have it with 2 arms. You're 300 pounds. You don't even got to move. Just hold it. He's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, just hold on to him and hope somebody else is going to help you. Don't destroy this man's career. Like,
and the worst part about it was somebody was coming on down on top of him as he was rolling. So his body couldn't even adjust to roll with the leg. He just, I mean, watching it happen, I was like, oh, that's bad. That was disgusting. You know, maybe cringe a little bit when I saw it, you know?
That's the Bush League stuff that I expect from Vontaze Burfict or Dominick. I do not expect that from anybody else in the league today. But apparently these guys are still out.
Somebody said even in Dominick and Sue would have been like, you've gone too far. That's it. Like, and I must say, I've never seen Dominick and Sue gator roll anybody's leg before, so I don't know.
I've only seen them purposely step on someone's hand, crush their nuts, kick them in the nuts, punch them in the face. You know.
I mean, but even he has a line, right? Apparently. So.
apparently, rolling around is his line.
Tearing the ACL is his line. He's not trying to tear anybody's ACL, you know.
Right. I'm only trying to prevent you from having children, but
he's just trying to sterilize you. You know what I'm saying? Population control.
That's it. That's all.
All right, I'm done. Go ahead.
But no, besides that, DK Metcalf seems to be showing something new in his arsenal, which is I'm seeing his route tree grow a little bit in these games. I'm seeing him do a little bit more in playing these games than just run a straight line and beat you over the top. I mean, mostly that is what he's doing, but I'm just seeing a little bit development in his route running ability, and I think that's kind of cool. But at the same time, man, you're not a rookie anymore, dog. If you're running an open space, look at the Jumbotron. Always be looking at the fucking Jumbotron. Like, there's no reason why that dude should be running up behind you, popping the ball loose. Like, you should be able to see him behind you from the Jumbotron. Like,
first off, you're supposed to be faster than anybody that's trying to chase you down because you're DK Metcalf. But you know what's funny, Mark? Immediately the first thing that popped in my head was the vision of Deshaun Jackson doing the very same thing for the Eagles. And that's the first. And now I'm just saying that because that was a big learning point for Deshaun Jackson, and he was, they shitted on him something terrible. I tell you what, though, Deshaun cut all that BS out after that, didn't he?
Yeah.
So let's hopefully that this is that Deshaun Jackson moment for DK where he gets his head out of his ass, you know?
Yeah, hopefully. But outside of that, this game also let me know is that Seahawks defense still has things that they need to work on, because the fact that you were rolling this team over for like 3 quarters, and in the fourth quarter, you almost pulled the Falcons, dog. Like, you was letting this team come back. You lucky you have Russell Wilson and not Matt Ryan, because
here we go.
because if it wasn't for that, man, you could have very well have been the Falcons in this situation, because the fact that the game ended 38-31 and you were up by however much you was up by throughout the game is ridiculous to me. So, yeah. And outside of that, I think the other game that really interested me was indeed the Chiefs and Ravens game, which happened Monday night. So time to get into you, bro. Listen, what did you say?
Go ahead.
I didn't say dig it. Whatever.
Look, man,
anyway.
Go ahead. Continue.
Anyway.
I'm just playing it safe after what I saw this weekend.
All right, I understand. Listen, bro. What did you say to me last week?
I'm trying to figure out, what did I say to you last week?
What did you say to me about Patrick Mahomes last week?
I said this is the first time that we've seen him look human. That's what I said to you.
Okay. You said this was the first time that we've seen Patrick Mahomes look human. And why was it that Patrick Mahomes, quote unquote, you said what? You said maybe this. You know what? Seeing how you want to be vague about it.
I'm telling you what I said. No, you tell me exactly what I said, and I'm gonna tell you whether I said it or not. Because you know me, Mark. I'll fess up if I said it.
Yeah.
Because I think you got into some discussions with some other people. You both. You told me, hey, he was being pressured, and it was pressure getting to him, right? And they said he didn't have time to throw all this other stuff. And what I told you is, yes, I do understand that. But in the past, he's always been able to overcome that to the point to where it looked like it did not affect him.
And you said maybe. I didn't say all that, but anyway, you said that maybe the Chargers exposed something about Patrick Mahomes' ability to cut.
I never said exposed. See, you're thinking about a discussion that happened in 750 because I did not say exposed.
Oh yeah,
I did not say exposed.
What did you say?
I told you exactly what I said, and I told you what your response was. Your response was he was being pressured, and they were getting in there, and that's why his.
No, that was never my response.
What was your response then?
My response to anything that you said is this is his first bad game in 3 years. He is fucking okay. There's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
That's all. I said.
Mark, I really want to know who you had this argument with that said he was exposed, because I didn't say that. Now, granted, there's people also saying that Lamar Jackson was exposed on Monday night, but I guess I'll tell you what, it wasn't me.
I'm gonna start wired.
Hey, you do that because I'm gonna tell you right now. There's one thing I told you I told you after last year, not even after last year, after his first year starting. That was enough for me to say that he is the best quarterback in the league, and it was enough for me to say, with my using the eye test, that he is the best quarterback that I've ever seen. Okay, I put him above, and you know how much I feel about as far as being skilled, how I feel about Dan Marino. And as much as I hate Aaron Rodgers, I do acknowledge that he had skill. I immediately said he was more skilled than Aaron Rodgers after his first year starting. So if anybody was saying that he was exposed, it was not me. Patrick Mahomes is my favorite player in the league.
Okay.
Let's be clear about that.
All right.
And I don't even like quarterbacks, Mark.
So you're just a front runner then. I understand.
What do you mean front runner? The man is the best quarterback that I've ever seen. I was at front runner.
You can he can be the best, but he doesn't have to be your favorite just because he's the best. But he's your favorite because he's the best. That makes you a front runner.
Look, man, what are you talking about? Look. My question is this: when Tom Brady was the
Tyrone
best,
gets the logic.
Hey, what I'm saying is, when Tom Brady was the best, was he my favorite? When Aaron Rodgers was the best, was he my favorite?
Yes.
No, you're lying. See, don't play with me. Like I said, I have never said that somebody was my favorite player since T.O. has left the game.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes is the first time I'm ever saying this again. Okay. And before T.O. it was Barry Sanders. We could go back the list. We could go down the list.
Okay. That's fair.
We could go down the list. There's 3 people that I've ever said that about.
Okay.
All right.
Listen, man. But back to this game, right? Look, everybody was saying that Patrick Mahomes might have been exposed, including you. I'm not letting
Don't
you
stop
off
throwing me
that.
in that pot, bro. Don't throw me in that pot. Don't throw me in that pot.
But
Stop.
listen, people were saying that he was exposed against the Chargers. He can't handle pressure. I was like, dog, this is his first bad game in 3 fucking years of playing NFL football. Relax. And what does he do? He comes out, plays the game of his life with pressure, mind you, and destroys the Ravens. I mean, and the Ravens was getting in there, constantly pressuring on, and he was just shifting that shoulder, moving forward in the pocket, moving left and right. In fact, on some plays, I felt as though his receivers weren't doing enough. Because, like, Doug, one thing you have to do when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson is your quarterback. If they're moving outside the pocket, they have the arm strength, they have the accuracy, and they have the field vision that they are always looking for the receiver. You have so if they are now outside the pocket, that means you're not open. So stop running your route and go look for the soft spot of the field so that they can throw it to you. Because if it hasn't come to you yet, that means you're not open. So cancel the route and get to the soft spot. And on certain plays that didn't happen, particularly one particular play was Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill was running an out route. Patrick Mahomes was running to the outside, and he kept pump faking the ball. And Tyreek Hill was still running the fucking out route.
You got to turn up the field.
Yeah, and you got and you have to turn up the field. And after the play was over, after Mahomes ran it out of bounds, he's motioning to Tyreek cut it up the fucking field. What are you doing? That's not what you Doug. I'm puck faking at you. Move, get to the soft spot. And Tyreek he's been around too long. He's too good of a player, and he's too good of a route runner to not know to do that. That just seemed like an absent of mind thought that he had.
But I also think you say he's been around too long. He ain't been around that long, but he's been around. I get it. He's been around long enough. But I also think I'm a Niners fan. I'm so used to watching the damn Seahawks play and watch them do it to perfection every single game. I just think it's a matter of they're being coached that way in Seattle, and they've been practicing that way in Seattle for so long that it's just one of those things. If you're going to be a wide receiver in Seattle, you better know exactly where the soft spot of the defense is, because that's where you're going to be headed 9 times out of 10, especially with the not so much now, but in that stretch where they had that shoddy ass offensive line. You just knew hey, the play is going to break down. Russ is going to be outside the pocket, and we're going to finish our routes by them. We need to just hit the soft spot. So, yes, if it hasn't been in Andy Reid, it's not typically in his game plan. He wasn't even doing design bootlegs and stuff like that for if you go back as far as Donovan McNabb or even with Alex Smith. It's just not. I think Andy Reid is still learning that part of it as far as coaching them guys. But at the same time, Mark, I feel like you, man, as a wide receiver, you have to know that's something that your quarterback probably has expressed. Like, he's sitting there yelling at you on the sideline after the play. I'm sure if something doesn't change within the next couple of days, that you're going to get yelled at again. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, just do it. Just do it, man. This is instinctual. You know what I'm saying? Just go out. You have to, man. Like, you can't just sit there and wait. It's like in basketball where like, yo, you see the dude's in trouble. He's getting trapped. And instead of going to him to try to get the ball, you're just standing there like this. You're waiting for the ball to come to you. Nah.
Yeah, like, that's not going to, like, yeah, you're basically being James Harden out there. You're like, go do something.
Hey, yeah. Basically.
So, but also in this game, an issue that I have an issue with this in any game or any sport or whatever. I have an issue where narratives are driven home when the person fails. Because prior to Lamar Jackson entering the league, everybody wanted him to be a receiver or a running back. They want him to be anything but what he is, which is a quarterback. And they were saying, well, he has accuracy issues. He has this problem, this, that, and the third. He can't be a quarterback in this league. And so, but he says, I'm a quarterback because that's all he's ever been playing. And he comes in, he's exactly that. He's a running quarterback, but he is indeed a quarterback. He's able to complete passes. But the first time that he doesn't complete passes, it's like, well, see, look, this is what happens when you have a running quarterback. You see that? You see, like, he can't complete passes. It's like, no, asshole. Did you see his teammates sell him out this entire game? And this is the second time this has happened. This happened.
Happened in the playoffs.
This happened in the playoffs. Tennessee Titans against the Tennessee Titans. His receiver sold him out in that game, particularly Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews was dropping shit. Yeah.
Like look at how many drops they had in that game. And then in this game, Mark Andrews once again sells him out. On one ball, it was a deep ball where Mark Andrews was open and he dropped it. Like, you cannot, and you can't, and that was a touchdown. So you can't put this on a quarterback who's doing what he needs to do, and he's getting it to his guys. His guys just aren't coming down with it. I felt the same way about Eli Manning back when they was like, well, Eli Manning has all these interceptions. I'm like, I can go back to you and show you about 80% of these interceptions, and his receivers are popping these balls up like they setting up for a surgery. Like, Doug, what are y'all doing? Like, they out there like, dude, and basically leaving floaters for the defender to take the ball and go the other way. Like, that was absolutely insane. Like, no, you got to knock the ball down. Like, Odell Beckham knows what to do because Baker Mayfield threw the ball basically to the safety, and Odell had to be the quarterback in that situation. He came over and smacked the ball out of his head, like, perfectly, I might say. Like, so,
yeah,
you have to help your quarterback out and not sell him out. And you, as the media member or whoever, you have to recognize what's going on and just not drive the narrative home like, well, Lamar Jackson looked bad yesterday. No, Lamar Jackson didn't look bad yesterday. His receivers looked bad yesterday, and they didn't give him no help.
And see, this is the problem, Mark, but this is also why, once again, this is another scenario why we do this podcast and why we do this show. It's because the media, so many of them were so wrong. And a lot of them had to eat their words, and a lot of them had to just swallow their pride and call him the MVP. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them did, right? There was people even last year. Remember, there was some executives last year that even after he won the MVP, they were still like, "Yo, I said what I said. I still believe what I believed at the combine." You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand, these people are so hard rooted in what they believe already that now was the first real opportunity they've gotten to be able to say, aha, I was right. I've been wrong for 99.9% of the time, but today I'm right. So they went crazy. I was reading some of these reports, and I was like, people are losing their minds trying to say that Lamar Jackson ain't this, and Lamar Jackson ain't that. It was wild, Mark. Now, with that said, me and you both talked about this before. I don't know if we were talking fantasy football or whether we were just talking about, in general, stat keeping in the NFL. But we did have this conversation to say, look, man, at what point do you start to put either incompletions or interceptions on the wide receivers? Like, at what point? At what point does it not go against the quarterback? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm going to tell you this, like those drops is making his completion percentage look like shit, but that's not on him.
Yeah, that's not his fault. And I don't understand what's going on with Mark Andrews to the point where he randomly has games like this. Like, it'll just be from out of nowhere a game where he'll have like he'll just drop everything and give you this horrendous stat line, and then he'll come into the next week and play balls out. Like,
but I was gonna say, did you see him? Was it week 2 where he had that back of the end zone catch?
Yeah,
it was crazy. Fall in, got full extension, got his feet down, everything like, and then what happened? A week later, he can't catch anything. I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on with the inconsistency with them right now. Last year, he was pretty consistent all the way up until that playoff game. So I don't know. This is something new. This is something new going on with Mark Andrews. But maybe I was a hater last year, Mark, right? Because I'm telling you, man, I was looking at this whole situation. I'm like, yo, these guys are so open when it comes time for him to give them the ball. I don't know if they're actually that good or whether it's just the scheme that's getting these guys open. But it doesn't matter. They're going to give you these numbers week in and week out because of the scheme and because people don't know how to defend it. This ain't even a scenario to where I could even say definitively that he's a bad that he's a bad receiver. It just seems like he has these, like, it's just a weird anomaly game where everybody had a case to the drops. You know what I mean?
And it's unfortunate that it was on the stage in a game where you needed to be all you can be, and you guys were the least you could be. So,
yeah. Well, what else you want to talk about? What else we got, man?
Yeah, man. So besides that, I want to get into the legend of Nick Foles continues, bro. So did you hear the story?
What's the story? There's a story behind it?
Yeah. So
man.
All right. So Tyrone, are you familiar with how the Falcons have been basically shitting the bed, kind of like the 49ers for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I've been hearing some. I've been seeing the grumblings in the NFL rooms. I've seen it. I've seen the memes. I've seen the memes.
Okay, you good.
I'm just talking about blowing big leads on a big stage. You know, something your team knows a little bit about.
Look, Mark. You know what my team knows about? Getting to the Super Bowl and winning 5 times. Does your team know anything about that? You know what? We probably don't even want to have a conversation about what your team's doing right now. Having tie games with the Bengals.
Listen,
you know what?
friend.
Let's just stay on topic here. Let's go ahead and talk about Nick Foles and the Falcons, whatever else you want to talk about.
You talk to me when you have a ring in the last 20 years, but we've had this conversation before. Anyway, so
talk to me when your team gets a win this year.
Hey,
okay.
Listen,
now that we're clearing that up, yeah.
We do have somewhat of a win.
No. We're not calling the tie a win, bro. We are not doing that, especially considering the team that you tied with. We are not calling that a win. No.
Listen, man.
Carry on. All
right. Anyway, so like I said, something that the 49ers know a little bit about, blowing big leads. In this particular case, Nick Foles scores the game-winning touchdown, and the way that he does so is apparently he called that play up. He said, look, if we see this look and they're blitzing or whatever, blah 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 blah, he's like, look, I just want you to run to the L, talking to his receiver. He said, we see this look. If I call this, your job is just to run to the L. I'm going to get you the ball. And so the defense showed him the look. They blitz him, and he takes the hit, he takes the hit as he's throwing. But sure enough, puts the ball right on the L.
Wide receiver had 2 steps. Wide receiver had 2 steps. It didn't even matter. Let's get into this, Marcus.
No, because the point of this is not what the wide receiver did. Is that Nick Foles expertly knew in the huddle what was going to happen and called his response prior. He said, if we see this, I want you to do this. He had a game plan for what to expect, and he executed. And that's the point. Like, not the point of what the receiver did, but the fact is, that they're not going to have the personnel out there to cover you because this is happening. And get to the L. That's all I need you to do.
Only reason why I brought up what the wide receiver having 2 steps was because, Mark, as soon as the ball was thrown, I saw what happened. And I'm trying to figure out, Mark, why they had 1 high safety on the last play. Like in this scenario where they need the touchdown to win, like what? Why is there 1 high safety back there? I'm trying to understand. I don't care if you blitzing. 1 high safety? Come on, bro. Like they deserved every bit of that. And yes, it was a good call. It was a good call to say, dude, if these people are dumb enough to give us this look, like you said, then this is exactly how we're gonna beat them. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have no trickery. You know what I'm saying? No trickery involved. It wasn't no crazy double move route or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? He was a little bit inside and started trailing a little bit towards the outside, and that was it. And it was like, wait a minute, the safety is all the way chasing the other receiver to the left corner of the end zone. Like, it's already too late.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's too late. Like, all I'm saying is that, you know what I'm saying, Nick Foles, Philly, and now I'm gonna call this one, here's your L.
No, he gets all the kudos, man. He gets all the kudos, man. That's, I mean, and for him to do it in a situation that they were in, high pressure, they brought him in to win the game. Essentially. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, that's crazy. Right. That's how you take somebody's job right there. You do that shit in style.
100%, 1,000%. Because guess what? They said, hey, from here on out, Mitch Trubisky's done. That's over. Wrap that shit up. Nick Foles is our guy for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And honestly, over the weekend, I thought about it a little bit more, and I said, I wonder if that was his plan all along. Because I really was thinking, I was like, you mean to tell me Nick Foles can't beat Mitch Trubisky? I was like, is that what we're really saying here? But then after everything played out and they immediately was like, all right, Mitch Trubisky's done. Wrap that up. Nick Foles show. I said to myself, what if they was like to squash any questions that anybody could possibly have about Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles, we're going to put Mitch Trubisky out there first, knowing he's going to fuck up. Like, we know he's going to fuck up. Just so you already seen it, and I pulled him. Now here's Nick Foles. And now I don't have to deal with the questions. Yeah, because I was like, there's no
pretty fast, man.
Yeah,
that gap fast. Yeah,
because I was like, there's no way, bro. But if that was their plan, it worked to perfection because somehow they're 3-0 and still while playing Mitch Trubisky and still got rid of it. Like, so it worked out great.
I refuse to believe that Nick Foles is just a horrible practice player. I refuse to believe it, man. People have to be seeing this in practice. You know what I'm saying?
Like I don't.
Like,
Yeah, man.
there's no way. There's no way. Yeah.
But so there's two conversations I wanted to get into, but I think I'm gonna save those for next week because for time reasons. But so I want to get into the Titans and the outbreak that happened today. So 3 players went down with COVID and 5 non-players. The 3 players that went down was the starting nose tackle, the long snapper, and a practice squad player. And the other personnel was the linebackers coach, and they don't know who the rest of the people are, but that's it. I'm gonna start with you, Tyrone, because we haven't heard from you in a while. How do you feel about that, and what do you think will happen going forward with the NFL?
Well, from what I'm noticing is 2 tests. One that the NFL deems unreliable, and the other one they deem is it takes too long for them to get it before the kickoff. So looking at these other agencies and sports organizations, like you're looking at the NBA, the way they handled it is they just poured everybody down in the bubble, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the UFC, they just strictly rely on the POC test, the one that most people deem as being not reliable or accurate. They actually take several tests. They take the one that takes a long time, and then before they fight, they take the POC test. And they do a lot of traveling. So I was going to say, this traveling from city to city thing is a big thing. But what the UFC does and what the NBA does is they quarantine their people, and the UFC actually flies their fighters out, quarantines them, puts them on flights where everybody's wearing smocks and all these other things, puts them in the hotel, tests them again after flight, quarantines them again, tests them before the fight.
Right.
I don't see how this is going to be possible with the NFL, especially when you're doing a lot of traveling, unless you do something like the NBA, which I'm pretty sure players ain't going to want to do. I don't. It could be in jeopardy. The season could be in jeopardy because, like you said, we got 2 teams affected by it.
Well, this week, yes.
Yeah. So, those players are out. It can affect the performance of the team. It can affect the outcome of the season. I mean, but it's something. They might have to go ahead and start rely on the shorter test, because it seems like, and I don't even believe they were testing on the day of the.
No, they did
game.
not test. They did not test Sunday, but they test before the flight and test after. But they didn't test the day of the game. Like so,
right.
They did test Saturday, but they didn't test Sunday. They didn't test before the game Sunday. They test after.
Right. So.
Got it. Okay.
It's I don't see how they're gonna get this logistics down for the NFL when you got stuff like that, especially since they only want to recognize one test, and that test takes about a week.
Yeah.
We get results.
But they do have the test. The test that had the test that read the positives is the one that comes back the next day. So.
Yeah, and then they don't even know if they want to believe that or not, but they gotta at least wait for the 7-day test.
But I was gonna say, but that one is the one that they're getting the next day is the test that they're taking after the game is done. So,
right.
So this is the thing. I feel like they have put them they put themselves in the position that baseball put themselves in initially when they first started up, because that's what they were doing. They were testing after the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They would test before the game, after the game, but it doesn't matter because the results wasn't coming in till afterwards. And then it's like, well, whatever exposure is happening, it already happened by the time you get the positive. So that's kind of the issue there with that. I'm not gonna put on my tinfoil hat today, Mark, You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it today because if I was, I would have started talking about, I would have at least asked the question, this is what I will do. I'll ask this question. Why is it that they're doing the one-day test afterwards?
Well, no, they were doing a one-day test before, too, because that's how they caught the linebackers coach, and he wasn't able to fly. So they do the one-day test every day.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
So it's every day.
Yeah. But I mean, regardless of which way you see it, like, this is what I'll say. Like, unless there's a test that they can afford, I'm saying that afford, that they can make everybody test and get same-day results, like, within the hour, there's no way to avoid – there's almost no way to avoid what happened here. You see what I'm saying? You can get it, like you said, you're getting a test the day before. You're finding out right before the game, hey, this person can't go. Or right before they fly, this person can't go. You test them afterwards. I mean, everything just short of testing them the day of. But what does testing them the day of do? It's not going to rule them out for that day. You know, they're not going to get the results back in time. So, I mean, I don't know how they approach this particular situation any better than they already did.
Well, with that, like, what you're saying there is actually kind of my point here, because like you said, there's no real way to necessarily avoid what's happening. And in this particular case, just in this particular case, I feel as though a little bit of this is much to do about nothing. Mostly because we saw what happened between the Phillies and Tampa Bay, not Tampa Bay, but the Florida Marlins. We saw what happened there, where the Marlins players got out and basically spread it across their entire team. Like, this is just 3 players. Like, this isn't, like, they say an outbreak, but honestly, 3 players, is that an outbreak? Like,
well, I guess my only thing that I will say is they're probably still awaiting some more tests to make sure that it didn't spread any.
Well, but see, like, but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, the next day tests were showing that the 3 players tested positive, but nobody else did. And then when a linebackers coach tests positive, nobody else did on a test after the linebackers coach test positive.
Okay, so that's good.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't showing a sign of an outbreak. It's showing a sign that the linebacker coach tests positive, and the other 9 personnel, whoever they are, they test positive. We don't even know if they were within the same grouping. Like, at least we the people don't know yet. Maybe the NFL do, but we don't know.
Well, this is the I think. Well, go ahead.
Well, no, but and when it comes to the 3 players, we literally, like, we're talking about the nose tackle, the nose tackle, the long snapper, and the tight end. Like, these, like, and not only is it a tight end, but it's the practice squad tight end. Like, they don't even practice in the same area of each other. Like, so it's just like.
Yeah, so, but I understand the concern, though. Like, I understand the concern. The concern is, okay, this is an incident that happened, and it doesn't affect anything, really. Okay, today it's the practice squad guy. Today it's the long snapper. A bunch of people that nobody gives a shit about. It could be 3 people again for a different team, but what happens when it becomes 3 starters?
But
now,
no.
That's what like.
But even then, it's not. My conversation isn't necessarily about who it is, but about, like, your positioning on the field. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you could call this an outbreak, because an outbreak suggests, like, I touch you, you touch him, like, he touched that. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I wouldn't call it an outbreak. Yes, I wouldn't. I think anybody, like, labeling it that is they're just trying to, like, show your concern in a different way. other than
Right.
labeling it an outbreak. Don't try to exaggerate it, people. But I think there's also people hoping that the shit gets shut down. So that's just a whole different story. Now, but like I said, the only
What
point
would
that
you call it though? Like, how many people is it? Like, what would you call it other than like? What would you call it? Like this?
Well, I guess
minor incident, a minor situation.
Like, was it 9 people?
yeah, but like basically, like I guess the way I see it is because unless they show that these people, like through the contact tracing that they have, if they show that these people have this been within contact of each other and stuff like that, I can't call it an outbreak because, like, at least one thing that we learned from the science is it doesn't survive on surfaces very long. Like, so, like, it's not like, so it's basically the way that you could get it from each other is like being right here within each other. You know what I'm saying? So if these 4 or 5 people over here, they got it, but these people over here, they got it, but neither one of them were like within the same vicinity of each other, then it's like, okay, you got it over here. You could have got it over here because you was out fucking off with your girlfriend, and you could have got it over here because you went to the beach yesterday. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all just happen to get it for 2 random different reasons. Like, I don't.
You could have got it from over here because Izzy was humping your back. I don't know.
Like, so I don't necessarily. I guess it could very well be an outbreak, but what I'm saying is it just the players being like the amount of players that it is and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily saying it's an outbreak yet. Like, basically, back when you and I worked together, Small, there was a time where where one of the guys, he got sick with like mono or some shit, and like 4 other people got sick, and like I was one of them. But like, you're not going to call that an outbreak and strike. Like, that's not an outbreak. Like, just like this dude got 4, like he got 4 people sick. There's over 100 people in strike. Like, so 4 people being sick out of 100 isn't an outbreak. Like, I guess that's my point. Now,
I agree with you on that. Like, the numbers, I think there's a certain percentage that you have to hit before you call it an outbreak, man.
Right. And so, but with that being said, I also find this, like, I understand the initial precaution, like, okay, these players showed up this way, so now we're going to put this to the side, facility to the side, no practice today until we get some more results back. But beyond that, people are like, yo, they don't have no practice facility. How are they going to practice? Where are they going to go? This, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. This is fucking Tennessee, bro. Last time I checked, this ain't the biggest, like, I mean, I'm not going to say I know everything about Tennessee or I know everything about the area of Tennessee that the Titans are in, but my assumption is that this isn't downtown New York City. I'm pretty sure you could find. I'm pretty sure you could find a field somewhere, go mow the grass, and draw some lines, and put on your pads and practice. Like, this isn't an issue. Like, what are we talking about here? Like it's not that big. Like you said, you could you could rent a high school for a week. Like you only need it for a couple of days. Like, it's not. It doesn't have to be all this like crazy stuff. Like, well, how they going to do this? How they going to do that? It's very simple solutions behind this. I think people are making it overly complicated just so they could say, well, see, I told you COVID would shut down the NFL or this would happen. Like, no, but there's a way to make it work.
I think people get overzealous and they jump out the window only because, like, I told you how I felt before the season even was going to start, before we watched the Hard Knocks episode, how I was concerned about it, just because I didn't understand how they were going to figure out the logistics of making everything safe for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt, because I just didn't know. The NFL isn't coming out. The NFL and NFL teams aren't coming out and speaking about their provisions and how they plan on dealing with these situations. So therefore, because they weren't speaking about it, I didn't know. But I'm not. It wasn't as if I assumed they had no plan. But I'm like, I can't tell you if their plan is going to work, or if I have confidence in their plan if I don't even know what their plan is at all. So I think that's just this is one of those situations where people don't know what the plan is. Look, man, if they knew that there was if they already had provisions to shut down the practice facility in the event of I'm not even going to call it an outbreak. I'll call it a breakout, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like a little minor, yeah, so a minor breakout. You know what I'm saying? Like what do you call it? A minor rash of infections. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if it just in case of this event, they already have provisions to say, okay, we're going to shut down the practice facilities. They would have to be the most incompetent people in the world to not then also have a plan for what they would do in the event of the practice facility being shut down. So we might not know about it. They might not know about it. The reporters might not know about it. But I'm telling you, these guys have a plan. They got a plan. They're not just shutting down the practice facility and not having, like, now, what are we going to do now? Like, no. Like, it seems a little bit ridiculous for people to believe that they have nothing, considering all of the provisions that they have put in place up to this point. Like I said, we watched the Hard Knocks episode, and it was like, when I tell you as far as disinfecting, they probably have the most disinfecting going on compared to any other place, any other occupation in the world right now. So yes, I don't expect them to just be wandering blind now that the practice facility's closed.
Yeah, and that's my thing, is everybody seems to be jumping out the window here with this stuff, and I'm just not seeing the necessity for that. For instance, like, one thing that they could do, because they missed the practice day, is push their game to Monday night, which is something that Ricky in 750 mentioned. That's a possibility. Or the way that they set up the season this year, they also made it to where they could roll bye weeks, and do it that way as well. Like, so there's
too many options available.
There's too many options available. And another option is you could shut down the entirety of the league for the week and just resume a week later, so that nothing is thrown off. Because you're not playing every single day. Like it's not two teams playing on Tuesday, two teams playing on Thursday, or whatever like that. It's on, everybody plays on Sunday and Monday. You have that option as well. So it's not. Basically, there's several options that the NFL has to move forward with this here. But one of the most ridiculous things I thought was, well, where are they going to practice? Dog, like, just go buy a bunch of pads and helmets, put them on, and get and practice. Like, dog, that's all you gotta do is go to a grass field and practice. You don't need. It's like you became so sophisticated that you forgot how easily it could be done.
Practice at the damn stadium.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I know it's a sacred thing. Even going back to high school football, you do not touch the game field. But damn it, if it's the only thing that you got available to you, then that's what you do. You know.
Yeah. So that's just one of those things, man. But yeah. I think that's all I got for that. Do you guys have anything else you want to add to that conversation?
Mm-mm. No, I'm good.
All right. So lastly, I wanted to talk about what things that happened across fantasy football this week. Um, in fantasy football this week, I pulled off the hat trick for the first time this season. I won all three of my leagues. I won in incredible fashion. I won 192 to 181, which is a very high score in the No Happy Fun Time League. Patrick, like I was up by 70. I was up by 70 going into the Monday night game and finished only up by 10. And he only had one player left. Like, thus is the star power of Patrick Mahomes, that Patrick Mahomes will drop 51 points on my team and make up so much ground. To the point I was getting mad at my TV. I was like, yo, if you don't take Patrick Mahomes out this game, dog, because I swear to God, if I lose, I'm not going to be upset because I'm just going to think that's incredible. But I'm just not going to be, it's not something I'm going to easily get over neither. Like,
Yo, after that first half, I was like, how does he have 30, 35 points in the first half? I was like, yo, Mark, you in trouble, dog.
Yeah,
I was like, you were in trouble, man. Yo. and the game wasn't out of hand enough going into the third quarter for them to sit on. I was like,
right,
I don't know about this, man. Like, it was like a perfect storm.
Yeah, and my second game, I won 188 to 122, and that's in the Lions versus Men League. And the last game in the NFL.com league, I won like 128 or 130 to 115, I believe. So, yeah, man, how did you do this weekend, Shawn?
Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, is what I would say. I had some high-scoring games in the Yahoo leagues. I won in the Lion versus Man. I won 177 to 131. Let me take a look at my the No Drama Happy Fun Time League. I won 155 to 130. And then, of course, in the NFL league, very reminiscent of last season. What happens? Hold on. Let me bring this up because this is really starting to piss me off, Mark. Okay. So I lose this one 121 to 140. Okay. I just want you to pay attention to. So I looked at it right now. Let me get into a big reason why I lost. John Brown getting injured and giving me no points kind of hurt. I will even give you this. Jordan Reed getting hurt. I cannot blame anybody but myself for putting him in that spot. But it doesn't really matter because that is not even a reason why I lost.
I believe you owe me money now, dog. I gotta play the tapes back, but
I did not bet money on it. I guarantee you, I did not put money on it.
You said 4 games.
I said 4 is what I would be happy if he gave us that.
You didn't say. You said you was gonna get. You said all I need is 4 games. He's gonna give me 4 games.
That's what I said.
No, the fuck, he's not.
Where do you hear a bet in there? Where do you hear a bet in there? Because I didn't put it in.
I'm not sure. I said I'm not sure.
Go back.
Like I said, I'm not sure.
I am 1,000% sure that the first thing they said in the game was, oh yeah, there goes Jordan Reed, first catch of the game. Yeah, man. And he's been through a lot of injury stuff. You know, he's had the most concussions for an active player, 7. He's been through the concussion protocol 7 times, Mark. Come on, bro. You think I put money on that? I ain't put no money on that, dog. Anyways, So,
Listen,
but nah,
you bigged him up when I said I don't know why y'all so hyped about getting this dude. He's not gonna. I told you he wasn't going to make it to week 4, and that's exactly
no,
what he did. Was not make it to
I
week
don't.
4.
I don't care. Hey, you know what? The game that we needed him to play, he showed out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We got something. Yeah. And yes, he was going to get hurt. We knew that. We knew he was going to get hurt. That's why we gave him that. That's why we gave him the salary we gave him. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But either way, like I said, Jordan Reed, 4 points. DJ Moore, a guy, like I said, a guy who was getting 11 targets a game, he got 1 target in the first 2-3 quarters of the game. So that kind of hurt me. He ended the game with 8 points. But that's pretty much where that ended, man. But the zero from John Brown really was a killer, because even going in, I thought I wasn't even going to have a chance, but even going into the Chiefs-Ravens game, I had a chance because I had the Ravens defense, and plus the Saints defense completely let Tobias down by giving him -3 points. So that put me into the game. The Ravens defense did not show up, so or they did not execute and get the results they wanted. But, you know, like I said, I lost to a guy that got 40 from Patrick Mahomes and 37 from Tyler Lockett. So, I mean, but Mark, if you look at that league, I'm 3rd in scoring, or excuse me, fourth. I'm in 4th in scoring, but points against is 3rd. Yeah. So everybody else we got guys sitting at 320 points against them, and I'm sitting at 427. It's just ridiculous. I don't know what I can do, man. Hopefully I don't have to deal with any more injuries. I got 5 injured players on that team, so we'll see what happens when this waiver wire is going to be huge for me.
Yeah, I am dead last in scoring in the Lions versus Men league, and it's not even close. Like those first two weeks were rough for me, and I don't even know. Like I can't even explain that, man. Those first 2 weeks, that was just a bad news bears, bro. Bad news bears. That's all I can say. Let's see. But with that being said, man, you said this week is going to be huge for you waiver wire wise. What players are you looking at?
Well, not that it matters, considering that I'm not high enough on the waiver priority list. I have to get a running back. To be honest with you, I really don't like. I know Gaskin is still out there, but I don't like the timeshare over there in Miami. I could get Wilson, considering that from what I understand, Coleman and Mostert still won't be back. I could go get Wilson for the Niners. Still don't like that situation. I'm not touching Devontae Freeman for the Giants. I'm not touching anybody that even might. I don't care if they play for a little league team named the Giants. I'm not touching anybody dealing with the Giants. I'm just going to put it out there. But these are my options right now for running back. So I don't know, but I think I'm just going to grab whoever's there. Really, Jefferson is out there for everybody to see. And outside of him, wide receiver wise, I'm looking at Brandon Ayuk, just because it looked like we actually played him, and it looks like he's exactly what he should have been, which is the number 1 receiver, considering that everybody's out. So Brandon Ayuk is probably somebody that's going to be available in all leagues, and somebody that everybody's going to be trying to pick up right now, considering the 49ers situation.
Yeah, I feel you. I like those players that you have in consideration. Particularly, like now to counter your point about Mike Gaskins, I particularly do like Mike Gaskins going forward because he was involved in the little bit of running that they did do in the first 2 weeks. But in week 3, where they actually put a somewhat of a commitment to the run, he comes up with 22 of those carries. And
Yes.
so that says a lot. The only issue that you do have there is that in goal line, it was Jordan Howard. And
Yes,
so
he's been vulturing the TDs for all 3 weeks.
yeah,
So
so that's a problem. So and particularly given the fact that Mike Gaskins is not like you're not really going to see a whole lot of 20-yard outbreak runs or anything like that. So pretty much those touchdowns won't be there for you. But as far as somebody that can get you 10 points consistently, he's probably going to be your guy going forward.
he's going to get you at least 5 to 7 points in the passing game every week. So
Exactly.
that's my problem with him in the passing game, though. He's really just getting a bunch of little tiny dump offs. Like he just had what do you have here? 5 catches for 29 yards. Like you see what I'm saying? Like he's not getting 10-yard gains off of these catches. So but if he's gonna see, he got 4 targets game 1, 7 in game 2, and 5 in game 3, and he's converted all of his targets for catches except for 1 in week 2. So he's catching. He's catching the ball. They're gonna continue targeting him. The hope would be, if you pick up Gaskin, would be that that he continues to see carries. But the issue I see with Miami is I'm looking at their schedule, and you see the Seahawks coming up, the Niners. They're gonna have to play I'm not worried about the Broncos or the Chargers. They got the Rams, and they got to play the Cardinals. They're gonna be playing from behind.
Right.
More than you would want them to. So good news is, I don't know if that adds to his receptions, but the bad news is he's definitely not. His carries are going to be even lower, and then you got to deal with Jordan Howard hawking the touchdowns in the goal line. So I mean, but this is the best that the waiver wire has to offer at this point in time.
Well, yes. One player that you didn't mention was Carlos Hyde. Chris Carson is down. He's down with a knee sprain. They originally are diagnosed in 1 to 2 weeks, but we know how this goes. Lower body injuries have a tendency to linger. So you could pick up Carlos Hyde this week, and he may end up just by default still being the guy even after Chris Carson is supposed to come back, or Chris Carson could just end up being out longer. Carlos Hyde is definitely a guy people should have in consideration this week. Now, as far as wide receivers go, Brandon Ayuk is at the bottom of my list, bro, because there's several receivers that should still be on the waiver wire, at least they're in the waiver wire in all 3 of our leagues, and they're just better, or they're on a team that is more pass happy than the 49ers are.
Yeah. Well, I did mention Justin Jefferson being the best option, but I wasn't sure if he was going to be available in all leagues.
Well, I wouldn't say he's the best. I personally, at this point, I would say Allen Lazard is the best option available in all leagues. If he's still available in your fantasy league, because we do know that Aaron Rodgers spreads the ball around. Devontae Adams has issues with staying healthy, and so Allen Lazard will have plenty of opportunity given if Devontae Adams is on the field, and that's only going to go up if he's off it. So Allen Lazard is probably your best option simply because he has the best quarterback available to him as a wide receiver or as a number 2 option receiver. And then from there, you have Justin Jefferson, you have T. Higgins, and my personal favorite, Chase Claypool. Deontay Johnson he's more than I believe he's unavailable this week. So Claypool will see more time in the offense. And as we've seen, Chase Claypool has made some phenomenal catches in the early goings of the 3 weeks that we've had so far. So he's not available.
I just see him. Well, just real quick on the Claypool thing, I believe that, but before we pass midway point of the season, that he is going to be the preferred red zone target.
Exactly.
So I feel it's already coming. So
yeah, like Claypool isn't available in any of our leagues, and that's because I have him. But for anybody that's out there, start looking at Claypool, and maybe he's a guy that you could stash, because that dude is the real deal. So outside of that, man, I don't really have anything going forward, and I think we should be good here.
Okay, well, the only thing I wanted to add about Brandon Ayuk was, considering he's playing the number one receiver role, that not only in considering that we're down to our third string tight end, and the fact that like Kyle Juszczyk just sat this past game because they don't want to take a chance on anything lingering with him. What it comes down to really is he's going to be getting carries too. I think he might have had like somewhere between 3 to 5 carries in this game. And when it comes to those wide receiver end arounds, I mean, just total touches, Brandon Ayuk is probably looking at getting 10 to 12 total touches per game as a number one wide receiver on the 49ers. But I do like the upside of Lazard, and I do agree with you on there. But I do like Justin Jefferson for his hopefully for what might seem to be a high floor. But then, it depends on how much you trust Kirk Cousins.
Right.
It depends.
Yeah.
But with their defense, but also with their defense playing the way it is right now because of the injuries, you have an unforeseen situation to where the Vikings will actually have to throw a lot because they're going to be playing in shootouts. So
we'll more than likely see quite a few situations of that nature, particularly going on with them. And another player to look out for is Rex Burkhead. I forgot to mention that, but Rex Burkhead had 10 targets this past weekend. If you're in PPR, then you want to look at Rex Burkhead. 10 targets is a hell of a lot. 7 receptions, and then in week 2 he has 6 targets. So basically, he's definitely a part of New England's offense going forward, and it seems like he's also their goal line guy. So
and that's really a touchy thing for me with the goal line stuff, because that Cam is going to be running balls in. Right. So it'll be, but it looks like as of right now, he's sharing the goal line duties with Cam. And that means that nobody else is getting those, because Cam is not throwing the ball on the goal line. Okay? If he's already down there, he's running it or somebody else is running it in. So that is a big deal.
Yeah, so the fact that Rex Burkhead has more value than your typical goal line person, because typically your goal line person is just there he's going to vault your TDs, so he can help you in that way. But no, Rex Burkhead is seemingly also their pass guy. So, and in the PPR league, that's invaluable, especially if the trend is going to continue where he's seeing 6 and 10 targets. Then he's going to be money for you if that continues. So that's somebody that a lot of people should also consider into putting him on your team. But outside of that, I think we are pretty good. We did lose Tyrone at the end here, battery issues, but things that I wanted to get to that I did not. So and I'm going to make sure that we get to them when we reconvene, is I wanted to talk about Andy Reid being now labeled this play innovator. I find that very interesting, and I think it's fraudulent.
What do you
Not
mean
that,
by play innovator? What do they mean by that?
well, that's something that we'll have to get into, and people will actually have to tune into for next time, because if I start talking now, we're going to go
That's
over
fine.
time.
Hey, we're good on that. But I'm curious. I'm about to do some research.
But yeah, now like he's this play innovator, and I think that's interesting. And I wanted to talk about some. It was just a rumor with Deion Sanders, but the rumor was so good that it made me think well, I thought this prior to this, but now it became an active thought that I wanted to talk about, is why aren't teams utilizing utilizing Hall of Fame players to be uh, position coaches? So,
But
so that's
I also have a theory on that. But I'll be more than happy to talk about that when it comes up.
yeah. And lastly was, I didn't talk about it today because I could fill up 3 hours talking shit about the Eagles, even though I love them. So I didn't want to talk about them today because there's so much to get into. But lastly, that's the last thing I want to talk about is the Eagles. I am going to go scorched earth on Howie Roseman in the very near future. It might not even make the next episode, but in the very near future, I'm going scorched earth on Howie Roseman. It's just, it has to happen. It's getting, like, I've been talking about this for over 3 years now. I've been talking about this since we won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, man. And now things are coming to a head. So it is what it is. But with that being said, man, again, thank you for showing up tonight. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to the listenership. Anybody that's listening, help us grow. If you enjoy us, share with your friends. Link us in your Facebook. Link our Facebook page. Link, like, subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, Google Chromecast, Overcast. Shout out to the one listener there. Yeah, man. The Eye Test Network. Look us up, man. Support us, talk to us, share your sports opinions, or just tell us we're full of shit. I don't care, but engage with us, man. We appreciate it. With that, I don't have nothing else. Do you, sir?
If you follow the Facebook page, just be prepared to see more content getting pushed out. Also, what I would like to do at some point in time in the near future is start doing some polls. You know, I want us, if you guys give me some interaction, we'll try to pull some topics from you guys, or possibly just engage in a friendly back and forth with you. You know, responding either on the Facebook page to what you got to say about our posts, or maybe we'll address it on the show.
Right. All right, man. So with that, it was a pleasure, Tyrone. It was a pleasure. Thank you for showing up, man. Always a pleasure, and always great to get your opinion when it comes to this fight game. Peace. Good night. I'm out of here, bro.
All right, later.